We're going live. I gotta silence my YouTube feed here. I hate this. How YouTube. I don't know why they came up with that great idea that you have to click your volume to. Okay, that one's muted. That's good.
Okay.
And this one's muted. That's good. All right. And do I got the chat out? Got the chat out. I'm gonna move this over to my other monitor. And I got my little news story. Yeah, I found out about this today, actually. We're live, guys. Whoever's out there, this should be interesting tonight. Oh, my goodness. And let me see. Let me get the chat going so we can see who's here. And, wow. We've got Lady Swan's out there. Cyborg Tech's out there. Oh, yeah, I know. There's going to be a lot of different views on this, you know. That's why I thought this would be an interesting topic. And, oh, you know what? I just got to...
Lady Swan is right here with us.
Well, I'm just going to turn my air conditioner on real quick. Hey, Mel. It's going to get hot in here.
I will say, though, the signal in my nerd room sucks, basically. So,
that's
if
all right.
I start to break up, I might have to drop out and come back in. So
no worries.
But,
no worries.
You call it the nerd room?
Yeah, it's my nerd room.
The nerd room.
I see all my nerdy stuff in there.
Hey, I heard boobies. I have to be here.
Oh, yeah. Fireman, this is going to be an interesting talk because I'm going to pick some... And I'll tell you why I'm doing this tonight. I'll tell you what led up to this topic.
Boobies?
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly what led up to it.
I dropped my phone.
I just want to see who's in here. Say hello. Let's see. We got Nina Landis is here. Cyborg Tech's here. Todd's here. Let's see. There's so many people here. I'm just going to go live. I'll talk to them as we go along. So let's see who's grabbed up on the panel so far. We got Fireman CV, Lou Rock, Ghost Mafia, and Mel Godoy. And thanks for coming up here to talk about this.
Before you start, Green Bay, I just want to let you know.
Yeah.
I'm all for this, but only if there's chicken grease involved.
Wow.
I see Aniki is out in the chat, and she seems like she wants to come up on the panel and chime in on this, but she is in one of those states, so she may come up topless. I don't know.
No one's going.
She is in one of those 6 states.
Oh man, I'm still sending like different links out, and I've got her. I'm getting her one here. If she wants to come up, there we go. I think this will be a very interesting discussion because there will be so many different sides to it. Let me get back to the chat.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries.
Jim from Breaking the Shell is out there in the chat too.
Tim!
Where you going, Mel? You just got here.
Breaking the Shell, how you doing? Hey, now I want to warn everyone out in the chat. First of all, I got to turn the desktop audio up for you guys. Make you guys louder. There we go. Everyone should be louder. And I just want to warn everyone in the chat. YouTube's having some glitches with some dropped live streams here and there. It's OBS. If you see the chat crash, stay in the chat, refresh. It'll be back on within 30 seconds. We had 2 OBS crashes earlier, but then it ran fine. So I'm just, I think, Fireman, that's going to be the new norm for live streaming on YouTube, that we're going to have, other people are having crashes left and right as well.
Yeah, I've got multiple videos that I'm trying to upload, and I can't because YouTube's playing with the quality. So I get you.
No, don't worry.
I was live for 2 hours last night. I didn't have any problems, but.
Well, no, the other night I ran we did 6.5 hours yesterday, had 1 or 2 crashes at the beginning, but then it ran fine.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's an OBS problem, isn't it?
No, I think it's related to YouTube. I don't know. It's.
I never drop. I just used that program that everybody uses.
Zoom.
Yeah. By the way, Diary of Her Mind. Mel Godoy is up here, so we do have 1 gal so far. We invited some other gals, so believe me, we're hoping to get some gals up here, not have an all-guy panel.
So, more girls come up, then come on up.
Yeah, we're working on it.
And you got Lady Swan here.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got Lady Swan. Yep, if she
She's not really
joins.
on camera, but I mean,
Oh yeah.
She's definitely a woman, so she definitely would have some input if she feels like talking. Tweet it out, guys. This is going to be, I think this will be kind of interesting discussion, actually. And so let me get kind of started why I'm doing this even. You probably might be like, Wacky, why are you talking about topless women tonight? I'm going to give you my good friend. Everyone knows Hazel's Reptiles Eats, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So she got a hold of me today and said, you're not going to believe this. She goes, there's women walking their dogs topless, and I've got children. So, obviously I kind of got I got her stand on it, of course,
Boobies.
And yeah. And so I was like, what's going on? What's going on? She said, the legalize this. So credit to her. I'll put her link in this when this is over. I started looking on the internet, and sure enough, it's true. It's absolutely true. 6 states have legalized women being able, to go in public completely topless with no, it's not against the law. Let's put it that way.
Now, does the old adage still apply? No shoes, no shirt, no service?
We're going to get to that. I had a long talk with my wife. That's what I wanted to talk about here. That's why I want to get all different opinions about this.
Another thing is, you pretty much have 2 choices. They could either legalize letting women have, the same right as a man to walk around topless, or they can make it illegal for both of us. That's fair.
Yeah, here's what, just to further elaborate on how this came about, there's a movement called Free the Nipple movement. That's what it's called. I kid you not. Free the Nipple. Apparently these 2 women started this lawsuit, and they won, and that's kind of what it is. It's sort of like equality for women. Diary of her mind. To be honest, I'm not down with anyone being half naked in public, just saying. Believe it or not, I'm modest.
I think this is going to be good for the tattoo and piercing industry.
Maybe. And I'm going to be 100% honest that this panel, we might have a lot of conversation going on. I'm going to try to read your comments because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of them. And we'll find out what everyone thinks about this. I just want to say,
I'm all for it.
You're for it, okay.
Hey.
So I just want to say good morning to a few people like Dreamwalking Angel, Joyce Sumter, Amy O'Lear, Kel's fam, Patricia Angel, Dawn Dent's out there, Zach Sanford, Todd's out there, Tim from Breaking the Shell. Oh, yes. New Mexico yeah, New Mexico. I'll tell you the states in just a minute, too. Patricia Angel, let's see. Well, just hello. Good morning, everyone. We love you. Sorry. So here's the states where it's legal, according to this. It's Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, New Mexico, Kansas, and Oklahoma, according to the article.
Well, wasn't New York already legal?
I don't know. This is a federal court ruling. I haven't heard of that in New York, actually.
For some reason I thought that New York was already legal for that, but I might be mistaken. But from what my knowledge is, I think they actually did this a while back.
I haven't heard of that in New York. We'll see if the chat has anything to chime in on that.
I know that there's a lot of stores around here. We have that Jamboree in the Hills. It's a 4-day music festival. It's kind of like the Woodstock of country music every year. And, it's not legal, but if it were legal, man, that place would be wild. But like the stores around here stop accepting money from women taking money out of their bra, like sweaty dollar bills and stuff. Where are they gonna keep their money now if they're not wearing a bra?
I'm not even going to answer that one.
Well,
I'll tell you where
have
I
to wear
stand.
bottoms, right? So
I'll tell you
bottoms.
where I stand on this. Just set the tone.
They wear it in their sock, Ghost Mafia. Their sock.
Yeah.
Sock money. Yeah, that's gonna smell even better.
In your hair. Here you
Well,
go.
here's my beef with this. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to be sexist.
No. I just want you to know, I respect everyone's opinion up here. Everyone's in the chat. You can be honest and just say what's on your heart about this, because
A
that
lot of men have ill intentions,
Got
and
milk.
they get excited over things like this. And there's a possibility, I'm not saying it's going to happen, and no, I'm not trying to be liberal about this. There's a possibility of increased sexual assaults. I mean, what happens if somebody's jogging topless in a secluded area or something like that?
it's
Now, I'm not trying to be closed-minded or anything like that. If you also notice, Dave, I don't know if you're going to read the whole article or not, but it's legal for everybody to go topless. But if they're 13, then it's considered child pornography. So this opens up another can of worms.
Oh
well,
yeah.
yeah, and I don't have the actual law in front of me, other than we just talk about it here. So I don't know if there's an age restriction on it. If you have to be, I would assume you have to be 18. I hope that's at least in the law. I gotta believe that.
Yeah, but why? All right. I get you there, but my 10-year-old can walk around with no shirt on.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question.
Boy.
If you had a daughter, okay, how many parents actually know what their daughters are doing at school or out in public when they're not with you? Would
Oh,
you
I
approve
agree.
of that? You know
I'm
what
just
I mean?
saying for an equal right type of thing. My son can do it at 10 years old.
Right.
You know what? It's a stick. It's a slippery slope.
It is, and
Yes, it is.
that's why we're talking about it. I
I'm not
do.
trying to be sexist. Please don't think that I am.
You
I'm
make a
not
good
opposed
point.
to it. Who wants to go into Walmart and see, they're flopping against their kneecaps,
See?
Hello, Kevin the Fam, by the way, and Hardens, James, Terry G, Rebecca's Realm, Texas 3, 420, 420, TCTV, just name a few, and Chris White. It could be an interesting, heated discussion tonight.
The interesting thing is going to be making trips to Walmart after this.
I gotta admit,
Ew.
I'm not. I would put myself this way. I would say I'm not comfortable with this law. I'm totally in favor of equality for women. I don't. I'm confused by. I don't know if I'm comfortable with it.
So
But
what
that's
I
me, and that's
propose,
nothing against you women that want to do this, or anyone that's in support of it.
so what I propose is that we make it illegal for men to walk around topless.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, it's always been acceptable for so long that guys can be. Um, so maybe I could ask, what are your initial thoughts on this, Mel? You're a woman, obviously. Um,
Yep.
you-
Have a
so,
check.
so we might as well start with some woman's perspective here, at least a baseline reference here.
Personally, I wouldn't feel comfortable walking around topless. Now, if I didn't have boobs, I mean, obviously, I'd be like, okay, yeah, no big deal. But I mean, I personally would not feel comfortable walking around with no shirt on. I think if I saw somebody else walking down or saw another woman walking down the street with no shirt on, I think I'd be, I'd feel kind of awkward, So, but
I'm
I
sorry.
can see a fireman's point, it could be dangerous for a woman to walk around topless, So I mean, anybody could, anybody could do anything. I'm not just saying men, women could do stuff too. So, but
I think that we've been brainwashed.
Kyle McGradden is in the chat.
I see that.
Terrified.
Yeah, I'm not sure what their channel is, but welcome to the Green Bay Wacky. This is a little more of a different subject that we're doing tonight. Now, let me give you a round of applause. And the Boost Angle 23 is out there too, by the way. And Eric Garcia, hello.
So my question is,
Yeah, go ahead, Ghost.
what the desensitization of television, how long is it going to be, before it's a commonplace in more than just 6 states and it becomes acceptable on television?
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? And do you want your kids watching the television with people running around half naked?
Well, that's the hard thing, because I know a lot of single guys would be like, wow, this is great. And I got to admit, I watched a video of the news crew when these women first, and what they did was they went in front of a church and they were all topless and they didn't show the topless on the feed for the video, and some of them had their children, in their hands, and there were guys sitting on the park bench, and they were interviewing them, these older guys, and they were like, "Yeah, we're here for the action." I gotta admit, it was kind of spooky a little
Exactly.
bit. Hello, Megan's blog fam. My family's out there. How you doing, Megan?
Okay, then explain Netflix. Okay, Netflix you pay for.
Right.
That's a paid, it's like cable television. If you're paying for channels, you expect to see a little bit more, loosely programmed. But I'm talking about public television. I'm talking about free TV, terrestrial, broadcasts from your local news affiliates. We're live here at the beach, blah, blah, blah. And there's topless people running all over the place, live feed on local airing, local television. Think about it. How long before the desensitization, factor kicks in?
All right, but if
Oh, well, just before you start, Lou, I just want to welcome Aniki, Jack Colorado Explorers, to the panel. Thank you for coming up, Aniki. And
hi, Green Bay. Thanks for inviting me.
well, hey,
thanks, Ghost.
You're a woman. You should have some input on this, for sure. And I just want to tell the chat, a lot of you are regulars here at the Green Bay Waggy, but I see some new faces. The chat is flying. There's like over 60 people in here. I apologize if we don't say as much to you right away at first as we start talking here. Thank you all for coming. Tweet it out, guys. Let them know we're live. This is an interesting subject.
I think that we have been conditioned to look at a woman's body in that way. If society was different, say 150 years ago, I don't think that this would be such an issue.
I was thinking the same thing. If, let's say, from the beginning of time, if women went around topless and everything, no one would think anything of it, But since women are supposed to be, covered up and everything, it's a different
There
story.
was a time where women couldn't show
Their ankles.
Yeah, in the 20s and the earlier days, the swimsuits had to go all the way down to their ankles, right?
But like what I'm talking about. Okay, so after it becomes commonplace and everybody's like, oh, that's just the way it is now. In the 1950s, when a television program was on the air, you didn't see murder. You didn't see the color of blood if there was blood on TV. You didn't see, you didn't have The Walking Dead where somebody's bashing somebody's skull in with a barbed wire wrapped baseball bat and pushing the envelope as to what they can show on television. But over the years, all that has become commonplace now. And, you look what it's done to society and the desensitization of children. And, now we have school shootings and we have, people walking into malls with AR-15s and just opening fire. And because, it's commonplace. They see it every day in video games and television and movies. And, how long is it going to be before you go into church on Sunday morning and the proper thing to wear to church is just your pants? You know what I mean?
Bikini or something, yeah.
Well,
I'm not saying that that's going to happen overnight, but over a long period of time where it becomes commonplace, it'll be more accepted on down the line.
Couple comments I just want to throw out. Our great friend Alicia Dreamwalk Angel was kind of reminded me, and that's true actually. She said in some other countries they are topless already, like in Africa, she threw out, for example. That's true actually. And TCTV said no showing the boobs in public. That was her opinion. LVH Epic Face. When is your next stream? I'd like to join, talk about whatever. It's random. You know that, LVH. LVH, thanks for coming through the stream.
But I agree with Lou as well. We have been pre-programmed over the last 100 or so years to look at a woman's body as her breasts being a sexual, thing. I mean, that's one of the things you look for in a woman. So
That's one of the things you look for. I look for their personality.
Well, true. I mean, true, but
Who's the exception to the
That's a
rule?
lie.
but I do like what Fireman said. He said a lot of guys out there have some bad intentions, and now women already dress very skimpily, and that's
I'll tell you what, I've seen some dudes with some giant boobs, topless.
Well, I don't think that'll be an issue.
Uh,
Hillbilly Pyro, hello, by the way. Free the boobies, he says. Andrew Frying Pan, good morning.
Oh,
by
did
the way.
you look at Amy O'Lear's comment?
No,
She
read
makes a
it.
valid point. You can go topless, but you should still, you should not breastfeed in public. And
Well,
she
that's
said,
Wow.
see, what's the difference between breastfeeding and public? Because a lot of people get offended by that. And then somebody just regularly showing their breasts.
My wife, she breastfed our children. She actually chose to go into the bathroom if we were at a restaurant or something like that. She never did it actually openly like that, like out in the dining room or something like that. That was just her choice. She didn't feel comfortable doing that in public. I've never really, that's never really bothered me that much with women myself. If I always, if they had a towel over that was just me. That was me. And maybe I'm old school,
Right.
Yeah, that was with my wife too. If she did breastfeed in public, she had like a shawl.
Yeah, a little
She
blanket
would
or
keep,
something.
a little blanket she would lay
Yep.
across her and the baby,
Yep.
but and again, that's part of life. That's something I can socially accept. Now, would I be offended if some dude's over across a restaurant, we're in a corner by ourselves, so out away from everybody, and she's feeding the baby, all of a sudden somebody's oogling? Yeah, I might take a little bit of offense to that, but
We're gonna get
see somebody else do that, I wouldn't pay any attention to it. You know what I mean?
We're gonna get TCTV up here in Anarchy. You still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Throw me out you're a woman. Throw me your initial thought to this. What you think about this?
I'm kind of with Lou on it that society taught us to look at a woman's breast as a sexual object. And once you nurse a kid, they're not a sexual object anymore. I'm just saying.
Well, what I mean is, would you consider yourself for or against this? Do you want?
I think if a man can do it, a woman should be able to do it too.
Okay, so
or-
you're okay with it.
But I wouldn't do it. That's just me.
Another
You guys
part-
aren't going to see my next live stream with me walking with no shirt on. I'm sorry, not happening.
Another part
Well, it opens up a whole new, can of worms. I'll tell you a couple things I'll throw out. Now, Fireman could probably relate to this because in the past he's worked in law enforcement. A friend of mine earlier suggested, how would this affect a law enforcement person? Take, for example, there's a woman that's in a state where it's legal to be no top on, and they're doing something where the police officer might have to handcuff her, arrest her, something like that. And how does a police officer deal with that?
That's easy. That's easy to deal with.
I know they normally call a female down, but
Correct.
But what if they have to do something right? Well, I thought that was just for searches. Don't they have the right to handcuff women that are?
They do, but usually if you do a search, it's going to be a female.
I'm just talking about the initial. Maybe I didn't explain it good. What I meant was my friend suggested, let's say they run into a woman who's doing something illegal and they have to restrain her. Not the search. We get the female comes down, but what if the girl's resisting getting handcuffed and he gets his hands on, and then she says he was fondling my breasts?
And this is why it's important to have body cams. Yeah, if you're trying to restrain someone, you'd be like, okay, you can't lean them up against the car. You got to be like, okay, flop them puppies on the car so I can search you. Well, I'm joking. I didn't really mean it like that.
All right. So
It's just
what
it's
happens?
just- you see
What
where I'm
happens
going
if
with
you
that.
have like some state road workers? Okay, you've all seen the state road workers. They're out there. You get the flagmen, and usually they'll use women as flagmen out there too. Once in a great while, you'll see actual woman working on this state road crew as well. The men, They get their shirts off. They're all sweaty. They got them tied around their waist, and they're shoveling asphalt or whatever.
Okay.
Then you have the woman out there topless too.
Right.
What happens in a work type situation when that woman is going topless? And, well, not only the possibility of causing accidents, but,
I was thinking
down to sexual harassment in the workplace because of it.
Right. That's a good point. By the way, TC, thanks for coming up here. We got TC TV. If you don't know TC, she's over in the UK. She's also a woman. We're trying to get women up here, of course, because it's obviously, kind of geared towards women, How you doing, TC?
I'm good. It's first thing in the morning.
And a round of applause for everyone out in the chat again.
Woo!
I've actually seen this. I've seen women on the beach that take their top off and they're laying on their stomach.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And well, no. What I mean is, I've seen like lifeguards or police officers go up to those women and tell them they need to put their top on. So, I mean, for that part of it, I think it's actually like it's unfair. I mean, it's unfair. That woman, she's actually covering herself, but I've seen them get in trouble and they say, no, you can't do that on the beach. So, I think in that kind of situation, it's liberating. It's given. This is supposed to be United States, the land of the free. Another thing is, what about bras? Bras. I mean, I know it's free the nipple, but
that's their movement,
when they
right?
get hot, you pull your shirt off.
Well, they have sports bras, and women run around in sports bras all the time.
Yeah. But
Mm.
usually, you see a woman running down the street in a bra, she's probably going to get stopped or something.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're talking of this Victoria's Secrets, but like, a bra is a bra, whether it be from Victoria's Secrets or a sports bra that you're wearing at the gym, it's still a bra, right?
So
Yeah.
TC,
Yes, but I think on that one,
Yeah.
where it comes the difference between a bra and a sports bra covers more than theoretically a normal bra would, because a normal bra is going to come down quite low, whereas a sports bra is actually going to cover the breasts completely.
So
Yeah, it's
what's
not
your
the
what's
thing.
your initial reaction to this, TC? Because you're a woman. Now I know you're not in the States. I know you're in the UK, but
I
you're a
mean,
woman,
I think-
obviously.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to the breastfeeding side of it, you have all right to breastfeed your child wherever you are,
Mhm.
as long as you are covered.
But not the breastfeeding aspect of it. Just the women walking around
Personally,
topless.
I think it's a stupid idea because, as people say, in my case, that's exploiting a lady's body, and that certain things should be kept to the home where you're more comfortable. And if you want to walk around topless in your own home, great, do it. But when you're out in public and you're seeing different people and you're meeting up with different people, keep your boobies away.
So you're kind of on the side of, even though you're a woman and you want equality, your take on it, if I'm hearing right, is not in public like that, fully topless.
Yeah, because the thing is, I think that's not to be funny. That's exploiting a woman's body. Just because you put that law out there or saying yes, you can do it, not every woman on the damn planet is going to feel comfortable. And then you've got the women that aren't feeling comfortable about it, feeling more uncomfortable because they've had to go out and someone's got their boobies hanging down to their kneecaps.
Yeah.
I
think you should keep them away.
Yeah.
Well, how do you think, just curious, everyone on the panel, I understand the equality thing. What do you think about, okay, Lou, I'm going to ask you, does it sway your mind any way, either way, like coming from the standpoint of children? Because I've got daughters, and for me, I wouldn't want my daughters walking around like that. I just wouldn't. That's me, but I wouldn't get mad at them if that's what they really chose to do.
As for my children seeing it, I have no problem with it.
Okay. No, that's an honest answer, Lou. That's an honest
If I
answer.
had a young daughter, which I have she's like it's my children's, my two boys' sister, their mother, had a child after we broke up, but she's like a daughter to me. And would I want her walking around with no top? Yeah, that's a tough one. If she wanted to, I would say. If she wanted to, she should have the freedom to be able to do that. But she should also have the freedom to do it without having to worry about the shaming of it and worrying about being, as everybody said, attacked. I know we want to protect our kids, but also I'm like a really strong I'm really into freedoms. I hate it when things are taken away, and I love it when we're given a freedom. So I have to be for this in every way, in every single way, because I believe it's our choice, not anybody else's.
And I just want to make sure, Mel, your position was you're okay with it, but you just personally wouldn't do it. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, me personally, I wouldn't walk around without a top on. But I mean, if it's legal, if a woman wants to do it, then that's their choice. So, but me personally, I wouldn't walk around topless because.
Do you have, just because you're a woman, I mean, any opinion on, like children that would be seeing this? So it's legal and you're out, like give you things that, like my friend who said the women are walking around walking their dogs and their kids are out there playing and these topless women come by. I mean, and does that make any difference on the way you would think about her? I'm just curious. I'm just throwing it out.
Think about a daughter and she was, let's say, she was, developed. I wouldn't want her to walk around topless, really. To me, I feel like it's not safe for her. If there is women walking around topless, then I have to explain to them, the reason why. So, okay, it's legal for them to do it, but I don't want you to do it. So, it's my child, I'm going to be overprotective of them. So, it's just like if I had a son, I wouldn't want him walking around naked everywhere. So, that made sense. So, I mean, personally, it's my daughter. I wouldn't want her walking around topless. So, I mean, when she turns 18, if she wants to do that, then, she's an adult. She can make that decision. So, I mean,
Hardens James is making the comment that in France they have nude beaches and no one cares about it really. Well, I know in France they are a little more laid back. It's the city or in the country, it's a little more laid back. All the romance and all that. And I think they're more open in France. I don't know how the nude beaches work. I suppose anyone can go to them. I guess it's personal choice.
There's nude beaches in New Jersey.
Oh, really?
There's nude beaches here and nudist call here too.
Were you going to say something, Fireman? I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No. I was just listening to Mel. And that's the thing. Like alcoholism, marijuana, drugs. We all know kids under 18 don't do any of that. Vaping. We know kids under 18 don't do that. And I'm not trying to be mean, Mel, but we can't keep tabs on our kids all the time. So there's a possibility that could happen at an earlier age than 18. And the other thing is you've got peer pressure. What do you think is going to happen if they're all in the locker room or some stupid thing? Not that that's going to happen, or they're out in public and they're like, oh my God, you're so small. That's cute. So there's so many factors involved in here, but I'm not against it. I'm just saying, I don't believe infringing on somebody else's rights. If you want to plop them puppies out, hey, knock yourself out. But a lot of us guys don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah, you can't control every aspect, and can't control things 24/7. I'm just saying, if my daughter is with me, I would tell her, I'd feel safer for her to wear clothes, to be covered. So
that's another thing. How many men are going to get in trouble just for having their eyes open?
or get into accidents. Well, let me ask all these members on the panel.
No, that's a great point. What you just said.
Just being with your wife and your
Oh.
eyes are open and you're just walking down the street and then say there's a woman or a couple women that are walking down the street topless. Now all of a sudden you're in the doghouse because you.
Speaking of doghouse, my dog is celebrating. She's showing off her boobies over there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, funny.
You've got 10 of them.
She corrected me. I'm like, the dog is.
She's celebrating.
And I just want the chat to know I'm reading a lot of your comments. It's just flying by so quick. I'm just letting people on the panel give their opinion here.
Well, yesterday I was on the way to the dentist, and now you guys know the real reason. I was shocked when I saw the lady walking without her shirt on. And
Wait a minute. You actually saw this? You actually saw
no,
some?
I was just kidding.
Oh. I thought you were serious. You know?
She was saying she was staring at boobies when she wrecked the car.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. No.
Well, the good thing about this, safety-wise, somebody brought up,
Accuracy
flaggers.
causing an accident.
Yeah, Joy Sumter says, I would not want my hubby or my spouse to see another woman's breasts. Most all men are going to look.
Well, I have a 16-year-old son, and
yeah.
I don't know.
See?
How many people do you think
I don't know.
are going to pay attention to that flag worker that's a female that's topless?
Thing is here, you actually have to have an orange vest on if you're a city worker here. You have to wear an orange vest.
Down here too.
And I want to tell Alex Radford, hey, master guitar player, man, how you doing tonight? Thanks for coming through the stream. No, what we're talking about, 6 states have legalized women being able to walk in public topless. It's not about breastfeeding. It's about actual women can walk around half nude, basically. It's
Free the
legal.
nipple.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm against it all. I think it's a bad idea.
I think they have every right to have the equality. They should have the option to do it, but they probably shouldn't want to do it.
You know what?
Yeah.
I still keep my position, but I agree with TC. I think it's a bad idea, but when it comes down to it, I think that we should have those freedoms.
I mean, we should have freedoms, but we should have freedoms over other stuff. Walking around topless with your boobs hanging out and for everyone to frickin' see, for some women, that is going to make us feel really, really uncomfortable. I know, for me it would.
TC, is there any push that you know of for this where you are in the UK or not really? Is it not?
Oh, it ain't coming here. And even if it does come here, I'm walking around completely clothed.
Yeah, but let me ask all the men on this panel. The thing is, if they are covered, it's more classy and it leaves more to the imagination compared to if they are unclothed. Tell me.
So you want booby tassels?
No, I did not say booby tassels. But what I'm saying is, if somebody's fully clothed, it leaves more to the imagination compared to as if they're completely, totally topless. And most men find it more classy for a woman to be clothed compared to, being completely topless. You know what I'm saying? And they have a different perspective on the way they think about women. Not all men do. If they're topless, they think of them completely different as opposed to somebody that would be clothed. It'd be more classy, so to speak.
Hazelite Vixen said, I think it's taking equality too far. That's what their opinion is.
Well, this goes all the way back to the story of Adam and Eve. And, them not knowing that they were naked. Now, when they didn't know that they were naked, it wasn't a problem. And then...
But then that was only 2 people on one thing. Now on the planet, there's millions of people.
I'm just saying where it's probably, I mean, it could be really instilled from us if you take Adam and Eve, the story, as like a literal type thing.
I'm going to get to that Southern Belle to your comment in a second.
Yeah, I do too.
It's instilled in us from at literally the beginning of people.
Honestly, I think this is the beginning of what kills modesty.
Well, I want to address. I think that was geared towards what Fireman was saying.
It was.
Southern Belle said, "So you're saying they are trashy?" I don't think he said that.
I did not say
No,
that.
no, no,
If
no.
you listen to me,
I don't think he
said,
meant it that way.
no, I did not. If you listen to what I said, hit the rewind button. I said some men will actually think differently. Some. I didn't say me. I said some women will think of women differently if they see them topless as opposed to clothed.
And I have to agree with that 100%. And it's going to go both ways. You're going to have the guys that do think that, just as a initial response, and then on the other side of the coin is the more aggressive male that is there's different psyches. You're right. There's different, because to some men that's not gonna be sexy at all. And
I mean, I think. Sorry, actually, go ahead, Lou. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
Mel, go, Mel.
I may or may not contradict what I've said.
Right.
I'll just say I really don't want to see women walking around topless, personally. The thing is, if it becomes legal, I can't do anything about it because it's law. They're allowed to walk around topless if they want to. I don't want to see, but like I said, I don't want to see women walking around topless.
I think
I don't want to see my wife walking around topless, so I know she wouldn't. I'm just saying I wouldn't want. I feel like I'm like exposing her to the world, so it's but I mean, if it's legal, I can't do anything about it. It's law. So
I don't see anything wrong with it. I just think there's times and places. Now, we've all been to those rock concerts, and the shirts come off and the bras come off, and woo,
It's every 16-year-old's.
But you don't want to go
this.
down to the school playground with your kids after school and see other mothers walking around topless.
But that's what's going to happen. I mean, do you think this might make people stop going out in public? I mean, because they don't want, or watching where they go, or
I mean, it would for me, because I wouldn't want to stand there and walk around seeing a bunch of boobies hanging out all the time, and especially if I'm taking my little boy out somewhere and he's standing there, because he's going to ask questions. All boys ask questions, and he starts asking about it.
I'm just going to predict something, and I'm going to say that it's not going to be like that. It ain't going to. Just having that law isn't going to make all the women start walking around topless. Look at how many women are already saying they would not want to walk around like that. I just think that if there's a circumstance that they want to do it, they should be able to do it without being told, no, hey, you put your shirt back on the beach.
But that's why we have like topless beaches and stuff like that. So that if you want to go do it over there.
But that's
not
just it.
In the public area where you're raising
general public
your kids.
Probably won't go out and do that. But you got a whole bunch of exhibitionists that will do it just for spite, just to do it.
Well, that's the thing. I've got,
and that's going to cause lots more fights.
Hey, if you can bear with me for just a sec, they're going to hear us, but I'm going to. It's only going to take 10 seconds. I'm going to do my tweet it out. Just Ghost the.
When you get a chance to address Brian Westbrook and why I deleted the message.
No problem. Brian comes in a lot, and sometimes his comments. It's okay. We know Brian.
No. He used the key word that you said we can't be using.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'm just gonna hit the tweet it out. Yeah, Fireman, you're perfect. Thank you for doing that. Okay, here we go. Just bear with me for just a sec.
It's a social media break. Go tweet out this stream on your Twitter, put it on Facebook, put it on Google+, put it on the side of an airplane, put it on the side of a building, put it on the side of a barn. I don't care where you put it. Just let the world know Green Bay Wiki is live.
It was just a social media break. Tweet it out, guys. We're having a good conversation here. I got a question for Aniki, TC, and Mel, because you're women, okay? This won't apply to us, but this might sound kind of off the wall, but because you're women, does it bother you to be told, like up till now, before this law, has it ever bothered you to be told that you have to wear a shirt because you're a woman? I'm just curious. Like, if you ever thought, like, man, I don't like these rules of the society that I have to wear a shirt. I'm just curious.
No, I've never been
No.
bothered by it. It's just something you do. I don't know. I never thought about it really.
I know. That's why I'm
Instinct,
asking it.
really. It's instinct. It's like, okay, you know, I have breasts, I wear a bra, you know, so I go out in public, have to, you know, be covered up. So it's never really bothered me. Never.
Yeah, I never thought about it.
So
Yeah, not at all. That's not bothered me one bit.
That's why I'm curious. I'm reading the chat. Like Miggy O says, nope, not me. And I'm just kind of reading the chat a little bit.
I mean, if it's summer and it's really, really hot, yeah, great. Walk around in a bikini top. But, keep them covered.
yeah.
Keep them covered. That's
I
Well,
don't
the-
think my boys would let me do it.
probably
There's
say,
no way
"Awkward,
they'd be like, get back in there.
Well, here's the thing.
That's
Seamstress
the other
says
end
she's
of the-
never been bothered by the fact she's had to wear a shirt. Seamstress has never bothered her.
That's the
See,
other end of the
with-
coin. Do you think divorces would go up?
Think so?
Yeah, that would.
I mean, would I want to see my wife walking out in public with her boobs hanging out for everybody to see? Hell no. But is she going to like, hey, it's my body and I'll do what I want to do? They're your divorce rate.
It's gonna cause more fights.
Yes, it's going to cause a lot of animosity between the
I-
married couples.
Well, do you
I
think
have a
I'll throw this question out? Just a question that's in my brain. Do you think that the women that were pushing for this or are pushing for this, do you think it's really because, on hot days they're hot, or do you think that they have a chip on their shoulder, like they really want to be equal?
A chip. Equality.
I'm just proposing it. I'm not saying, I'm just kind of, is it possible? I don't know.
I was gonna say something that actually has to do with that, and this is part of what I said about being at like the beach. But say you're at a public pool, all right, and if anybody's had this happen to them, anybody in the chat or on the panel, say you're at a public pool, everybody's hot, everybody's tan and doing their thing, or a beach or anything like swimming, stuff like that, water park, whatever, and you're tanning, and I've seen women. They take
Okay,
off-
number
I've
37,
said this
Loretta
already,
Jones.
They take off their bra and they
Okay,
lay on their
Loretta-
stomachs.
That was
They're
an
not
accident.
showing anything. Their back is out, but they're not showing anything. And I've seen them be told, "You can't do that." And to be told that is like, what? Are you kidding me? I'm not even showing it. And so the topless part, I mean, in certain circumstances, I think it's like, yeah, there is a purpose for it. There is a reason for them to make it legal. Because there's not only just nude beaches out there, there's public beaches and public places where women can't do the same thing or things that they want to do, which they like to tan. I know they do.
How do you think?
Yes, it's great to tan, but the thing is, I'm tanning to the point where my bits are covered.
Have you
And I
ever
think a lot of women-
have you ever tanned with your shirt off and laying
No.
on your stomach?
No,
No. All right.
I've had my shirt off, but I've always had a bikini top underneath.
Now, Hardin James says too many laws for a free country. Good morning, by the way, Eli family, 1983. I'm burping too much coffee. Sorry. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Glenn's out there, North Nottingham Paranormal Investigators. Good
Morning, Glenn.
And Alyssa Parrish Rock Fam says, hello, my brother, Wacky. Alyssa Parrish, my great Australian friend, our great Australian friend. Thank you guys for coming through the stream. I have another question to throw to the panel. Do you think in any way, shape, or form this will change, like, social media? Like, for example, like, take YouTube. YouTube supposedly has a no nudity policy, right? But now you can just walk out in the street and there's,
Well, here's the thing with YouTube. Again, YouTube isn't America. We come to this platform. It's free for us to live stream on this platform, but we have to adhere to their rules.
And
They still say, if they still say no nudity, it's still their platform.
Good point. Good point.
You know what I mean?
But it's also like 6 states that are allowing it.
It's just like if marijuana is legal in this state, and they say you can't smoke, you can't be smoking out of a bong or smoking joints or whatever on your live stream. Okay, it's legal where I am. I can do it all day long, but not on YouTube.
See, I think the restaurants and places of business, I don't think, they always say no shirts, no shoes, no service. I think that could still be in place, wouldn't you think?
No, that's exactly what they're doing.
Place.
You cannot go into any public buildings nude. You can't do it. And they are adopting the same policy, no shirt, no shoes, no service. But out in public, general public, that's different.
Right.
I've looked into the law. I'm doing that in the background.
I mean,
you are. You're checking into it.
It's like here we have open carry. We can have a gun strapped to our hip, and be out in public as long as it can be seen by 3 sides of the body. We're legal to carry a firearm without a permit on the streets in the state of Ohio. But you cannot go into government facilities, courthouses, school zones, or anything like that with it.
Right.
You can walk down the middle of the street, but you can't go into any, and there's certain stores say, no firearms allowed. You have to go by their rules, If you want to shop at that store, you follow their rules.
We've got counties and each place is different. So,
I think that's what it's going to come down to is county laws, state laws, things like that, as where it's acceptable to be topless.
Right.
Yeah.
But
there needs to be a fine line.
Yeah.
But see, here's what I'm worried about. This is just me. Cab. Hey, brother Cab 7. How you doing?
How you feeling, Cab?
Hi, Cab.
Oh, my goodness.
How's your belly?
How you feeling?
I have not thrown up. I feel fantastic, and I'm ready to do it again.
Oh,
Hang on. I was asleep. I was asleep when he done this. I put this thing in my mouth. Tell me you did not actually eat the worm.
No.
Worm.
No, he didn't.
What did he stick in his mouth then?
You have to watch the video.
Yeah, you got to watch it.
Oh, yeah, you got to watch it.
Everyone out in the chat, just so you know what we're talking about, tonight, our brother, Cab7, went a little crazy on his stream earlier. He made a special stream, What Will Cab7 Eat? What was it called? What Will He Eat Next or something?
Yeah, something like that.
I think he was just cleaning out his pantry of all the stuff that was expired.
And so
that stuff was expired 4 years.
Yeah.
The name of it, the live stream's called "That's Just Gross." That's it.
So Farland's actually looking at. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, going back to the conversation that we were having a discussion about. I obviously have a 6-year-old, and not to be funny, my 6-year-old, and as a female, has not seen any part of my body other than like my feet. So I wouldn't want him walking out in the street and seeing a bunch of women with, perky boobs or boobs down to the kneecaps or boobs down to their ankles. I wouldn't want it because, he is not allowed to go out in public with no t-shirt on. He can do it in the garden, but he is not allowed to go out in public and do it.
In the United States, there's a lot of laws, and there is federal laws that protect the American flag that state you're not allowed to wear an American flag as clothing. Like you're not supposed to have a shirt made out of a flag.
Wait a minute.
Or a bandana or anything like that.
And don't get me started on that subject. That pisses me off.
It's true.
No,
that's an actual law.
Yeah, but your constitutional right. You can burn the damn thing, right? That pisses me off.
I want to make sure I get this right, though. You're because I have T-shirts that have American. You're talking about an actual flag.
Yes, an actual flag,
not a print of a flag on a shirt. Okay, of course. Okay, I want to make sure.
You're not allowed to make clothing
Out of a bag,
out of
yep.
flag.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay
Bandanas or anything else. You're not allowed to make clothing out of a flag. It's
but you can put the flag on clothing.
to the flag
All right,
itself.
but you could have flag print.
Right,
You
yep.
mean an actual flag? You can't
Like
cut up a
actual
flag.
flag.
Can't
You
cut
can't-
up a flag, yep.
It's against the law to cut up a flag.
So
Correct.
let's.
But I'm sorry, why would you want to cut up a flag
Well,
when
I'm
it
just saying that
represents who you
people-
are and your country?
People do that stuff
They do.
every day. It's not like, the FBI shows up at their door and arrests them because they did it.
Right.
Just because it's legal to go topless doesn't mean you should. Maybe,
Right. So, Cab 7, since you just got up here, we got a general idea of everyone up on the panel what their initial thought on this subject is. What does Cab 7 have to say about this law for the 6 states? Do you have an opinion right out of the gate? Just,
I'm ready to expose my breast right now.
I knew it.
I'm ready to take it off and feel that freedom in America that we should be feeling.
It's about women, though, Ben, not your saggy ass
Dave,
breasts.
I'll be a woman if you want me to be.
No.
Okay, I'm just saying. I mean, whatever. But I think if women want to do that, hey, listen, ladies, you do whatever the hell you want, all right? We were doing it way before there were laws set.
Okay.
But some decided to be more powerful than everyone else and take over and say, you can't do this and you can't do that.
So you kind of go for the freedom route, like everything. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, what did they do back in the 60s? Didn't they burn their bras?
Oh, the feminist movement or whatever that.
Yeah, I burnt my bra back in the 60s.
Oh, that was. Wow.
Cab, I heard you burnt your bra back in the 20s.
You know what? If I was a little bit closer.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to Lindsay Diane there, yeah, it's 6 states so far where they said it was legal. I put it in the description of this live stream, too. It's I put the article down, but it was Utah. Oh, jeepers, I'll have to pull the article up again to tell you which states. It's not all states yet.
I don't think it's going to be as bad as anybody thinks. You'll have a couple pop-up boobies here and there, but I don't think it's going to be much.
I don't think it's going to be much right now. But over the course of the next generation, say the next 20 years, when these kids that are, coming up today and learning about these laws, and 20 years from now, when they're having kids, it's going to be all out. It's going to be it's going to be all over the television. It's going to be all over. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be socially accepted to be topless in America in the next 20 years. In the next 5 years, nah,
But
I think it was sexy that you said that. I
Right.
think what you just said was sexy.
Well, I'm just saying with each generation, we push the limits as to what's socially acceptable.
Well, what I'm afraid of, by the way, just to clarify, it's Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, New Mexico, Kansas. Now, Kansas, that's June Gall territory, and and Oklahoma.
But look, Dave, listen. I lived in Montana for 20 years. Wyoming was right south of us on the border. You go ahead and you drive into Wyoming, and there's only 486,000 people that live there in the whole damn state, and it's one of the biggest states in the union. So ain't no one going to notice any woman there naked, okay? You're going to see more deer and antelope than you are women without bras.
I think he makes a valid point. I think you're right.
That's interesting.
The only time you'll probably notice it is when people protest with signs and stuff like that, or in areas that are not as liberal.
Well, the thing is, when I saw the news video of the women doing the march once it became legal, and I thought this was, and this is just me, and it's an observation, they did it right outside of a church. And so I was kind of like thinking...
That's a bad taste.
Well, I was kind of thinking that didn't seem like women that were... It's just me. I mean, it's no offense to anyone in the chat. It didn't seem like women that were just hot that wanted to take their shirt off. It looked like they were thumbing their nose at society is what it kind of looked like to me.
The exhibitionists. That's
Exhibitionists.
exactly. It's the exhibitionists.
Because why did they go in front of a church? Why didn't they just go downtown? or
Because
something?
they could.
Right.
Well, here's the deal. Most wars on this planet were because of religion. So there was nothing wrong with being nude until someone decided to make a law and said, no, we can't do this. Until then, you have that freedom.
I have something to ask here.
Yeah.
What about a transgender woman who doesn't have, we'll say maybe had breast reduction or just doesn't have very large breasts and actually looks very masculine? Should it be illegal for that person who identifies really as a man to not be able to do what a man does? I mean, really, there's not really a difference in the chest. What if there is no actual boobies?
You mean like professional, like female bodybuilders that literally their chest looked like a man chest. Like they could take their top off and flex out, and it just looked like a man flex out.
I'm just talking a flat-chested female or a woman who's had breast, because like we do have breast reductions to make their chest flat.
This brings up a good point, Lou, that I never thought of till you just mentioned that. What if, for example, a man who he's a man and he has a like a boob job like a woman, but he's technically a man, like in a state where it's not legal. Can he go topless, or does he now have the features of a woman? So
it doesn't matter. If you're a human, it doesn't matter what you consider yourself as. You should be allowed to equally, if you want to, expose your chest. If you want that, that's fine. Go right ahead.
Is it degrading for? I mean, I don't think it's degrading for a transgender woman who looks like a man and identifies as a man who wants to walk around topless. It should be illegal for that woman in any way, shape, or form.
Let me add something to that. Let's say the woman transitions into a man and they legally get their gender changed to male. Now, do you think in that instance it would be all right for them to go topless even though they were born? Oh, sorry, my dog.
Absolutely, I do.
Now, more like in a state where it's not legal yet.
I think if they've had the full transition, then yeah, because not to be funny, their gender has now gone from say female to male. Then yes, they should have the right to stand there and because they are now classed as completely and utterly male.
I actually have a friend of mine who started out. Her name was Andrea, and she went through the transition, changed her name to Andy. She was on the hormone treatments. She's a he now, has a beard, mustache, looks like a guy. Like if you didn't already know that she was born a female, you wouldn't know that she wasn't a male.
That's what I'm.
And if they took if she wanted to go out there and play basketball with the guys and strip her shirt off, you couldn't tell because the hormones, the treatments that she went through and the surgeries that she went through, you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell that she wasn't always a man.
Tell me what you think of this idea. This is just something that in my brain goes off kind of like a little red alert kind of thing. It's just me. And maybe I don't mean no diss to anyone. But, okay, so women go topless now, and so now that's acceptable. I feel like, is it just another barrier broken down where pretty soon anything will go? Like, pretty soon adults being with children, that'll be the new thing. Like, that's acceptable. Is it going to lead to even more broader acceptance of just absolutely everything? Are there any rules anymore that?
Listen, Dave, I went to a hot springs in Idaho, right across the border, and it's in the Rocky Mountains, deep in the pine forest. And there's a lot of people that know about this particular hot springs. It is not a resort. There's no buildings there. All it is a 1 mile trail that you walk down through the forest, and there's probably about 7, 8, 9 hot springs. Everyone accepts everyone as they are. It's families to just females to just guys, all sitting in these hot springs. No one says nothing. Everyone accepts everyone just as they are. There is no sex. I didn't see no sex while I was there. I even got in the hot springs myself. Didn't bother me a bit. I'm not scared. And that's what they all agreed upon. It was a like-minded society of people. What's the big damn deal? I mean, we can't show what 6% of our body. We can show everything except like 6% of our body. But who's to make up a law that says that we can't show that last 6%? People are going to be offended. There's always going to be people offended by something. There's going to be a part of the population that can be offended by something. We're not going to make everyone happy. I'm open-minded. I'm sorry if people can't accept that. I'm open-minded to it.
Yeah,
but who are we to infringe upon other people's beliefs? If you want to do it, that's fine. Me, if I'm against it or not, it doesn't matter. That's my choice. Why take that freedom away from them? If that's what they want to do, let them. Yes, there's probably going to be repercussions, but then again, maybe there won't.
The only reason I proposed that question of where do you draw the line on things when I gave the example of adults with children is we were talking earlier about somebody at some point made a law that said, a rule that women have to, have a top on, but also someone made a law somewhere that said children aren't adults until they're 18. So there's a law in place, but does that mean, that we should just keep knocking out all the rules? Where do we draw? That's the only reason I said it.
Here's another question for you. And you see it all the time.
You see where I'm going with that? You see where I'm going with that?
MTV. Pregnant at 16. It seems like children are becoming sexually active earlier and earlier and earlier. Do you think this would promote even more of that?
Yes, it would, because the thing is, if you've got girls walking around topless and stuff like that, no offense, but the boy's winkle is going to want to rise very quickly, and then he's going to want to start getting.
You get the laughter for that one.
I agree. Look.
I
never thought in a million years that I'd be a grandfather at my age. My son, our youngest son, is the one that had the baby. He was 17 years old. His girlfriend was 18. Now, what's going to happen when that little girl grows up and she's 15? And all of a sudden she's sexually active because she's, seeing people walking around, half naked, and the boys are looking and they're flirting and back and forth, It's scary. It's scary. It's scary to think that I could be a great grandfather by OG in 12 more years, 13 more years. Think about that.
Is Lady Swan still there?
She's right here beside me.
She is. Okay. Just because, as the more women that can give me an opinion on this, what does Lady Swan actually think about this law? Like, for it, against it? What's her opinion?
I'm all for women equality, but this,
So you're like, you want the equality, but this one's gone too far, you're saying?
If women want to have more equality rights to men, go for the same pay scale as men, not worry about tops.
Okay. That's a good opinion. Thank you, Lady Swan. Thank you.
It's good to get female opinions.
Well, yeah. I mean, this relates more to women than men.
I don't think it's a question of morals. I don't think it's going to make a difference at all whatsoever. Nothing. Not even a change of anything. It doesn't mean people are going to lose their morals because they made this law. I mean, look at how many people feel strongly about it. Like, a lot of women feel strongly. I ain't showing my boobs. I don't think it's going to be a big issue.
Well, it's hard to gauge that because I'm not sure, the lawsuit that was filed that was won was by 2 women. That's, I didn't see I didn't hear about a petition by like 1 million women or anything like that.
Yeah.
Danky, how you doing, Danky the Clown? Good morning, by the way.
Good morning, Dinky.
Morning, Johnson.
I mean, I'm all for them having the option, and I think there should be obviously you're not going to walk into a courthouse, you end up having to go in there to pay a ticket or something. You're not going to go in there topless. You wouldn't do that. Even men can't do that. There's certain places you can't go into topless, and there's I think that there is going to be some kind of rules in certain areas and county rules, state rules and stuff. And I think they'll work it out overall. So, I'm for it, but I think that, parents should have a little bit more control when they're raising their children so that the age of conception isn't going backwards to a younger and younger age, so to speak.
I don't know of any buildings.
Knowing that OG could in 15 years.
I'm saying in when she turns 18 and becomes an adult, and then she has that option. I'm not gonna, 14 years old, she's not gonna be running around our backyard with her boobs hanging out. Okay. I've seen 13-year-old girls that look like they was 30, So
yeah, well, that's all the hormones, I think, in the milk. But Paranormal White Noise says some countries it is normal for women to be topless, as it is the way it's always been for them. That's what Zara said.
But as a parent, that's our option to raise our kid properly.
Thing is I don't see any buildings, schools, stores, any buildings that even men could go into topless.
Right.
Do you think that the kids in school are going to start walking around topless? That's not going to be. I mean, my kids have to wear school uniforms. Well, ain't going to happen.
I can remember being at school and playing basketball, and we would play shirts against skins in gym class.
No.
So, Fireman, you said you were looking into the actual law online there while we were having this discussion.
I'm still doing it as we speak.
Did you come across anything that mention age, like whether you had to be an adult to do this, or
anyone under 13 years of age and under? It's actually considered pornography, so you can't take pictures of them. So here's where it gets a little shady. Okay.
Yeah.
I can go on your street, down your street, or anybody's street and take a picture of their house. I can take a picture of you outside. You have no reasonable expectation of privacy in public. However, if it's a 13-year-old and younger individual, even if it's a male and you take a picture, it's considered pornography. So it's a weird line.
Well, wait a minute. What do you mean if someone took a picture? Are you talking about what if you...
All these states that these laws, they're allowing topless.
Yep.
They are allowing it if they're over the age of 13, it's not considered child pornography.
So what he's saying is when you're walking in the public and you're 13 years old and you have your boobs out, if somebody takes a picture of you, that person, even if they took that picture on accident, has now broken a law.
Correct.
Well, wait a minute. You're saying that if are you talking about women or either or?
No. I'm saying, say you're downtown, some city, and you're taking pictures. Green Bay Wacky's taking pictures downtown.
Yep.
And one of these, a young kid, is practicing their right to be topless and just walks through your picture. You taking that picture, you had now just created child pornography.
But my question, maybe I should I'll ask it in 2 parts so it'll make sense. Are you talking about girls or are you talking about even guys that don't have a shirt on?
What's the law on a little boy? Is it?
It's the same.
It's the same, right?
Yes, same way, either way.
So, because for example, you'll see pictures of, let's say they're advertising a pool for sale, and there's a bunch of kids playing around there, and some of the guys don't have their shirts on, and they're 10, 11-year-old kids. That's considered pornography?
If you take a picture?
If you see a picture like that, that's actually considered a pornographic picture?
According to the laws, the way they get it written.
Really? I didn't. Wow. Because I think haven't you ever? Maybe I'm wrong, but
I've taken tons of pictures as a kid with no shirt.
yeah, I feel like I've seen pictures of kids playing around pools or things like that in the summer.
At the beach,
Yeah, at the beach, like there's, the guys are walking around without their shirts on. Wow.
I was telling you about a place in Idaho. Now I'm looking at a website right now, orbits.com.
Orbits, I've heard of them.
Okay, so Idaho. Now it goes through every single state, all 50 states, and what is allowed and what is not allowed. Now the example in Idaho, the place I went to, it's called, it's in the Clearwater National Forest. It's called Jerry Johnson Hot Springs. Been there many times. Smack in the center of the state lies Clearwater National Forest, which is beloved for its warm water pools, including Jerry Johnson Hot Springs, accessible via a 1.3-mile hike. The springs are secluded, known to be clothing optional, and quite popular. So to me, I think if people want to do that, let them do it. If people don't want to do it, they don't have to be there.
Well, that's the other thing, Cab. If it's known to be clothing optional,
yeah,
and you have a problem taking children there, you don't go there. That's
in Delaware,
choice, you know what I mean?
I went to the Nude beach in Delaware. Okay,
it's like I would go to a nude beach, but I'm not going to take my kids down to the nude beach.
No, it does say in Delaware, there's a sign right on the beach that says you may encounter. So you're already being warned by these signs along the beach. You may encounter nude people. So if you got kids with you and you don't want them to see that, that's up to you. That's fine. And if you know of this place, you want to keep your kids away from it, keep your kids away from it.
What about they just had all these women in front of a church protesting? What happens when a bunch of just women that just want to do it just go sit out in front of church every Sunday morning, topless, just to do it?
Well, the thing is, the reason why they do it in front of church, because churches have a push when it comes to making laws. So, of course, I would go ahead and get naked in front of a church, too.
Yep, you're right.
Well, that's why I came back to why I proposed that question. Is it a thumbing your nose at society kind of thing, or are you really, really hot, from the sun, so to speak? Personally, I'm a guy. I actually don't... I don't like to go around in public without a shirt on myself. I think the only time I probably do is if I've gone to a water park, maybe, I guess.
Dave, let's be realistic about this. If you and me were bodybuilders, don't you think we'd want to show off our frickin' bodies? Of course we would, man. Come on. A lady is well endowed with nice sized melons.
Good morning, Gemma, by the way.
She's proud of her breast. She wants to show them off. Why not? I know of one in our community that's just that way.
Hey, Rebecca's Realm. Have an awesome night. Thanks for coming, Rebecca. Appreciate you coming through the stream, by the way. I'm soaking this law in. I was kind of surprised when I heard this news myself.
You should see the commercials over in Germany. When I was over there for 2 weeks in Germany with my family,
yeah,
you should have seen the commercials on TV. Very open-minded. Didn't bother me a bit.
I was in the military, so yeah, red light district and so forth.
Oh yeah, I remember those in they had them over in oh my goodness, Korea. They had those. We actually had the glass houses. So
Andrew,
not that I was there. I'm just saying that they had them, and they were. Oh my god.
That's actually a valid. Andrew Frying Pan says guys online are going to love this law when they ask for nudes online.
I like what Beth Plant has to say. Good point, Cav7. When I had a 4-pack, I wore as little as was legal because I could. Not that I would now. Now look at those two. Look at those two sagging-breasted men. Now that didn't bother me a bit.
Hold on, we got to share screen here. What are we looking at here?
Are you looking at a map or am I doing the wrong one?
See a
Looking at a map.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's topless laws.
The best way to do it is type in your state name, put a space in there, and then put in
Wow.
nudity.
I'm Massachusetts. Yay!
What? There's two colors on the map though, red and orange. What's the?
Uh-oh.
Down below it says the green colored states are those where topless freedom is in effect. Orange are in ambiguous state laws on the matter. And the red ones, obviously, you can't do anything.
Wait a minute.
So there's more than 6.
Yeah, see, I told you New York was already one. I knew
Well,
it.
the ruling that I was talking about is a federal court ruling.
You want me to stop sharing now?
Yeah, that's good. That's
Well,
good.
the thing is, it where like in Ohio.
Thank you, fireman.
There's laws against indecent exposure in place.
Right.
However, nudity like toplessness in Ohio is just a misdemeanor. It's literally, hey, put your shirt back on.
So,
go do that someplace else, and they let you go. Maybe write you a warning ticket.
But here we go. We already have, if you've seen all those green states, we already have it in place.
But I've never seen a woman.
I knew it was in New York already because I used to be told that by my aunt when we would drive through New York.
Hey fireman, just because you had the map there, Southern Belle asked if Texas you can be topless. Was that on the green there?
Yeah, it was.
It was.
So that just goes to show people it's not going to change anything. We already have, look at it. We already have more than half of the country. That looked like 3/4 of the map.
It was. I still got the map up over here. But here's the difference. You can go topless and have your breasts exposed. That's fine. As soon as you grab one of those breasts or do anything with one of them breasts, with the exception of breastfeeding, now it's considered indecent exposure or disorderly conduct. Or
so what if you have itchy boob?
Well, yeah, wait a minute.
Different. I mean, in a sexual manner.
But wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Look at these. Whoopee, whoopee, whoopee.
What a whole fireman! You just opened up a whole new can of conversation. So if a woman who's topless and where it's except these states, if they, like TC said, they scratch their boob, how that's consideed.
I mean that's no different from a guy sitting on the sofa scratching his nuts.
But how in the world is someone supposed to distinguish and say, no, I saw you didn't scratch your boob, you sexually played with it? And they're like, no, I didn't, I scratched it.
Well, then it's a matter of your word against theirs, and unless you got it on video, you know.
Right, exactly.
But then if people start getting everything on video, then it's no freedom.
Right.
Well,
and that's what I thought this was about. It was supposed to be about freedom and what people choose.
Think about
it is freedom.
You can't do anything in the United States anymore without getting caught on camera by either a phone or traffic camera or something. Every place got video cameras up. Walmart's got them in the parking lot. Target, any shopping mall. You're on camera. Probably anytime you leave the house, you're on camera at least 12 to 15 times a day.
Well, what about if a woman's got chapped nipples and she rubs chicken grease on them?
Oh my God!
I'm liking the sounds of that.
Now, what about? Okay, here's one. You were talking about public pictures, for example, right? So, what if a guy's out snapping women, that are topless?
There's nothing you can do about it.
And what if that guy sells those pictures to someone?
There's nothing you can do about it.
That woman ends. Okay,
it's legal.
It's legal. You have no.
But then that's no freedom.
You have no expectation of privacy in public.
There was a case in Florida where there was a man setting up. He was setting up cameras right next to public bathrooms, and they were outside of the bathrooms, but he was catching good angles, and he was catching the women in the bathrooms. And he got caught, and there was nothing they could do to him because of what Fireman CV said. You have no expectation of private being private in the public. Like,
I'm going by federal law and state law and my prior experience being in law enforcement. And you really don't. I can stand outside of, Cab 7's house on his street. There's nothing he can do about it, and take all the pictures I want of his house, his license plate. There's nothing he can do about it. Now, if I walk onto his property, that starts changing things and pointing a camera into his bedroom or something like that.
Yeah.
Just because you want to see him naked.
Well, and that comes back to they've had a lot of complaints about the drone laws and who owns the airspace over a property.
Yeah, there are.
So let's say I want to fly my drone over Fireman CV's house and take a look at his backyard, and he decides to come out there and take his 12 gauge and shoot my drone down. Okay, who's at fault? Does Fireman CV own that airspace above his house?
Well, here's the thing. You have no reasonable expectation of privacy. Here's the key phrase: in public. That drone is over private property now.
Well, here's a scenario for you. Think about this one. You've heard of, you've probably heard of, I've read stories about this where an employee at a business has been let go because they've uploaded like nude photos onto their Facebook or something. You've heard that, right? Like they're a teacher or something like that. So what about, a woman goes topless out in public, and someone takes photographs of her, and it's one of her fellow employees uploads it on their Facebook. Now there's
She's in public. She's in public.
That's all at the discretion of the employer. I can tell you this from experience. Lady Shona actually got let go from the casino at Wheeling Island for putting a post on her Facebook that said, "I'd like to throat punch the bitch that gave me this cold."
Oh, wow.
Didn't name any names because she didn't know. She was working at a casino. Thousands of people come through there a day. She don't know who she caught it from. She just caught a flu. But she put that post on there, and because it was a negative post, the casino let her go.
Yeah.
And what happened?
Is it right?
My Facebook is private.
Yeah, and her Facebook is set to private, but she had to sign paperwork stating that they could do that when she got the job there, and they did it.
Yep.
Also, what happens, right, if a woman, say, for example, she's got a big pair of boobs, and she needs to stand there and lift her boob to itch underneath, is that classed as physically groping herself?
Wow.
If she has to, if it's in a non-sexual manner, I mean.
But the thing is, someone could stand there and say that's in a non-sexual manner, but all she's doing is cupping her boobs so she can itch underneath.
Wow.
And there is women out there that have got big freaking jugs.
Yes, I know.
I do that without a bra.
You know what? I'm going to do two things here. It's an hour and a half into the stream. Mel Godoy's up here. Cab 7's up here. Ghost Mafia, first responder. Fireman, CV, veteran, first responder. I'm going to do my veteran. You know I'm going to do my veteran shout out. You know I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And Lou Rock, of course, Mama Rock being the veteran. There's some new faces in there. A lot of you that come to the wacky stream know that I'm going to do this every single live stream. Support our veterans around the world, people. They deserve our respect and our support. We have veterans that serve all over the world. There's different, we have allies. There's different bases. There's different places. Don't take the politics of the world out of the veterans. Don't. POWs. There's prisoners of war that are out there that we don't know where they are. They're not accounted for. Please send your prayers out to these families and to these POWs. And if you're not a believer, send positive energy. We want them to know wherever they are that we are thinking about them, and we do want them all to come home, and we want their families to have some peace, some closure to their whereabouts. And remember our first responders, our police, fire, and EMS. And like Ghost said, he's the one that got me to put this up originally. I credit him. It's the best thing I ever did. Police, fire, EMS, they put their lives on the line every time that call comes in. And it's not just the employees, it's the volunteers. The volunteers as well. Always remember, too, I added this, when it comes to veterans, it's men and women that serve. Much respect and a special shout out to veterans and all the families that have loved ones that serve, currently have served, or even have paid the ultimate price. And as I always say, which you know I'm going to do, I'm not a veteran, but I am the son of a veteran. I always like to show my dad's flag. That was my dad's flag. He was on the beaches of Normandy. Thank you, Dad, by the way. And you guys are my heroes. You're my heroes, veterans. You're my heroes. Thank you. Thank you. And that's all I have to say. So, that being said, let me just get our... there we
Dave,
go.
I appreciate you doing that during your live streams, man. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
Hey,
It does.
I will never stop doing it. I will never stop doing it. Never. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Cab. Thank you, Fireman. Lou, thanks to Mama Rock. Ghost for being a first responder. And everyone else in the chat. So I'm so afraid that our children are going to lose this, and we got to keep it out there. I was so actually proud of my children's high school. They actually now have the POW flag up there flying.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Green Bay, can I tell a quick story when we're talking about veterans?
Yeah, of course.
Right, okay. In the town, obviously, we live in now, there was a event where there was veterans in the town centre. And, you know, I raised my boy to respect veterans. Obviously, his grandpa, which would theoretically be my dad, is still in US military. And then we were stood there, and I said, darling, they're veterans like your grandpa. And he knows how to salute, because I've taught him that way. And in the middle of this town centre, when there's like loads of people all supporting it, my little boy, out of everybody, decides to stand there and salute all the veterans, and all the veterans saluted him back.
Wow. Well, you want to know something that happened this year? At our 4th of July parade, you know, the veterans always come by, the old timers, I guess you would call them. You know, you can tell they've been around for a while, the older generation. And when they started walking, you know, I immediately got up, sunglasses off, hands over the heart, stood up, all that. And there were still people sitting down. The actual veterans, I saw them doing this. They went like this to the crowd. And they shouldn't have had to do that. They were like, get up, you know.
Well, I mean, we're what, 3 generations away from, you know, Vietnam. When the boys came home, people were spitting in their face, calling them, you know, baby killers and everything else. And these, you know, it's that generation and that mindset of some of those people that treated the veterans that way, who have raised kids to be disrespectful and not to appreciate and things like that. And that has gone on. And then over 3 generations now, you know, our children have lost touch. They don't know what a veteran is.
No, they don't.
They don't know what they went over there and fought for. They don't know that they have this freedom. They don't know what, if they didn't have this freedom, what it would be like. So they can't appreciate it like those who do.
Yeah, I mean, my granddad was, you know, he fought in the Vietnam, and I consistently remind my little boy of the benefits that he has now that back then he, you know, if that didn't happen, he wouldn't have had them.
You know, while we were sitting here, I was thinking I'm going to throw a free idea out to everyone in the chat. Someone's going to make $1 million on this. I think if T-shirts are made that say "freedom" with like a set of breasts, I think someone's going to make a lot of money. Actually, sorry, but
say that, Green Bay. Just gave away the idea.
I just gave away the idea. That's all right. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? This song's going to have more meaning than it's ever had.
Yes.
We're going to play it. It's going to fit in on this stream.
Let's do it.
Oh no, there they are. My man boobs, they're growing. My nipples are hanging down like a double D cup size, and I'm a guy. I've done it now. I'm eating way too much pizza and drinking too much soda pop. I've got man boobs, people. I've got man boobs, and I don't know how to stop. I looked in the mirror. They're sagging like sagging. I've got like all this skin. My man boobs are hanging like a double D size. I've got these nipples. I'm a guy. Come on, get serious. Stop drinking all that pop. And stop supersizing all those fries. I've got man boobs. They're getting way too big to deal with. Pretty soon I'll need a girdle. And then I'll look pretty silly. I've got man boobs. They're just getting too big to deal with. Can somebody please put me on a diet? I'm just eating too much stuff. But it all looks so good, I don't care. But I shove it in my mouth, and now they're there. These man boobs, I've got to get rid of them like yesterday. I'll have to go on like 400 calories a day. Man boobs, man boobs. Man boobs, man boobs, man boobs. Man boobs. Well, everybody wishes they could get wacky, put on a cheese hat and get happy, and everybody get wacky. Get out from your normal life that's so boring. Get wacky, getting happy, get a hat, take a walk, get wacky. Go down that sidewalk in a cheese hat, go out and get laughed at, get wacky, just get wacky. Happy, break out your life, put down the keys and drive to the wacky, the wacky. Well, everybody wants to be wacky, everybody wants to get happy. Just put on a hat and take a ride to the wacky, wacky side, the wacky side of life. Everybody wants to get wacky. Sometimes you'd say it was tacky, but it makes me happy. I'm happy being wacky. You can get wacky, just be happy. Sometimes you might look kind of tacky, but just get happy at the wacky. Just get out of that comfort zone. Just get out of your comfort zone. That's right, you're not alone. Just get out of your comfort zone and get wacky, wacky. Just get out of your comfort zone, get wacky and you're not alone. Everybody wants to get wacky. Everybody wishes that they could be so happy, like a wacky. Everybody wishes they could get wacky. Put on the cheese and get happy. And everybody get wacky. Get out from your normal life, that's so boring. Get wacky and get happy. Get happy, just get happy. Do you feel like sometimes you don't know what's going on anymore? The world's crazy and you don't know where you got to this place? Let's sing a song about it. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. I wanna get back to where I was before. I wanna get back to where I was before. Sometimes it seems like it's just not gonna be a sunny day, but I promise you, you hang in there, it's gonna be okay, yeah, yeah. I don't know why sometimes these things just last, but I promise you, take your time, it goes by so fast. I wanna get back to where I was before. I wanna get back to where I was before. I I want the brighter days, the sunshine in my face. I want to get back to that happy place. Sometimes it just seems like everything is falling apart. And I know that place, 'cause I felt it from the start. But just hang in there a little bit longer, it's gonna be okay. And I promise you, stick with it, it's gonna be a sunny day. I wanna get back to where I was before. I wanna get there to where I was before. Ba ba da ba 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 da ba ba. I wanna get there to where I was before. I wanna get there to where I was before. I wanna get there to where I was before. I wanna get there to where I was before. I wanna get there to where I was before. Not do that is I already don't know what's going to happen when it uploads.
Right.
But the nipple word I thought would be an instant flag for like YouTube, you know? That's what I was worried about.
Possibly, yeah. See it as
I had somebody flag me on Facebook for that because I was getting rid of a bunch of plumbing fittings, and that word nipple
Yeah.
is part of a plumbing term, and somebody flagged me. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
We're back, guys. I hope you enjoyed the music relief there from the wacky. My goodness, there's 79 people
There's
in there. It's
80.
going up.
80. There you go.
Wow. Insomniac lives up to the dreams of many, right?
Yeah, that's just starting to get good, and we're having Lou bail on us.
Yeah. Lou, I'm glad to you seem like you're feeling a little bit better.
I'm feeling a lot better. I'm good. I feel good.
Yeah.
We need to
Yes.
go for coffee again, Lou.
Yeah, man. Listen, anytime you're in town, just give me a call, or if you're gonna be around here, let me know and let's go.
Okay, not at night though, because I don't need any more bullet holes.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad you're feeling a lot better, Lou. And I hope you can get over to Cab Sevens for dinner one day. Probably won't be feeling very well afterwards, but
You might not want to go to dinner with them after
Hey,
that
there's
stream.
nothing wrong with mixing dishes, okay?
So everyone in the chat, just so you know, our brother Lou Rock's gonna check out here. He's gonna go get some rest.
Yeah,
And,
I'm beat. Thank you guys. Thank you Green Bay for having me up.
Night, Lou.
Yep. Thanks for your
Thank
input.
Take care, Lou.
Thanks
Have
for
a good
your
night,
input,
Lou.
Lou. I appreciate it.
Good night, guys. Good night, everybody.
Lou, I'll just say ta-ta.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my.
Later.
Wow. And Cyborg Tech's out in the chat too, by the way. 420. Zach Sanford, little McGoth is out there. Todd's out there. Miggy XO, Megan's blog. Beth Plant is out there. We got so many great people in the chat right now. Jan's Life Journey, Nina Landis. Nero Trigger's out there. Hey, Nero, brother. And we've got, I'm just kind of going up through the list. We've got the Storm Lies. We've got 420. Andrew Frying Pan's out there. Babs Sin, good to see you, Babs. Just kind of going up the list here. Blue Idaho is here. Music Mansion. Okay, talking about the okay. A little political there. Well, that's all right though. No worries. Chris White, Ice Dragon, WY Vern 2526. Good. That's a new name actually. Ice Dragon. Wow. Good to see you in the chat. Erica Thorpe, Wilma Burgooch, Dawn Den Fam's out there. I'll take that slot channel. Wow, there's a lot of different people in here actually. Guys, you subscribe to Green Bay Wacky? No, just kidding. Hey, I want to remind everyone who's up on the panel with us tonight, too. Eddie and Jen, the vlogs, and then some. also. So that's sort of an update of some of the people in here. Gemma's Journey Grace is out there too. Up in the panel tonight, we've got, I got to move this. It's a little out of whack here. There we go. And I got to move my picture actually. We've got Fireman CV left. We've got Mel Godoy. We lost Aniki, Jack Colorado Explorers. Don't know what happened there. Cap 7's up here. TCTV's up here. Ghost Mafia. Did I say Mel Godoy? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for being here, guys. This is an epic conversation.
You're welcome.
I just want to say, Gemma Journey Grace said, Cab 7, I will always support veterans. My granddad served in Malta during Second World War. Blue Idaho, how you doing?
Yeah. It's been a very interesting conversation tonight, actually.
No, it is a good conversation.
Yeah. And anyone that's just getting here, just so you know, just kind of a recap, it's true, like the title says, 6 states of federal laws made it legal for women to be topless, and that's what we're talking about. But what we're finding out is that it's possible that can't quite get the right look on Zoom, but it's possible that some other states it was legal before this federal law passed. But I haven't seen any. I have never heard of women walking around topless in other states before. So.
I think it's good that we have female panel members because people just don't want to hear a male's perspective as well. So that helps a lot.
Yeah, we heard Aniki's, TC, Mel's, Lady Swan gave us her opinion.
Yeah, and everybody's brought up very valid points. It's nice because it's been an intellectual, so to speak, conversation.
Yeah. Don Moody's out there. Dutchy Dutch. Hey, James, how you doing?
And I actually said during when we was playing the music, you know, just because that it is legal federally now in those 6 states, you not only have federal laws, you have federal, state, and local. Okay. Now, just because it's federally legal doesn't mean that, you know, it might still not be legal on a county level or a city level.
Oh,
so
that's an interesting point.
you gotta make sure that you're staying within your county level laws, your city level laws, and your state level laws as to, you know, if you want to go out and be an exhibitionist and parade down the street with your tatas hanging out. You know?
I'm sorry. I'd be getting in too much trouble too quick. Because if I saw somebody like, you know, with big tatas, as you like to phrase it, and they happen to be jogging, I'd bust out laughing and get myself in trouble.
Wow.
Yeah.
I put it to voice activated mode so everyone will be a little bigger. That's a good point, Ghost. I never thought of that. But I think if it's a federal law in a state, does city law trump federal law in a state?
If you're in the city when you're doing it, yeah.
Correct.
If you're pulled over by a city police officer, yeah.
But so, okay, federal law says it's legal in these states like Kansas and that, but it could be banned.
Illegal in the city or the county level.
Right.
But isn't the whole state comprised of different, I mean, what?
Well, it's like the state of Michigan has 83 different counties, and each county has different laws. What may be legal in one county may not be legal in another.
Oh, thank you, Killer Whale, for the $2 super chat. Totally appreciate supporting the channel.
It's like you see dumpster diving channels on YouTube, right? Now, in the United States, dumpster diving is federally protected. There is actually cases citing that it is legal to dumpster dive, but your city and county ordinances can have laws against it or stipulations to where, you know, let's say it's behind a gate. If it's behind a gate, you can't go in. If it's posted no trespassing, you can't go in. So you have to make sure that you know the laws in the city that you're in, the city and county that you're in, as to, you know, what you're capable of doing.
But what's the point
legally.
of it being? What's the point of the federal law then for the state if it might not be valid in certain counties or city? How could you possibly keep track of that?
You just have to go to your local, books and then see what's legal in your county.
Wow, now that's a whole different level of thinking that I never even thought of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like that with any law, whether it be marijuana, drugs, anything like that. It might be legal on the state level, but federal, it might be illegal or vice versa. It's messed up.
Really? So you could be going around topless, for example, thinking, hey, it's legal in my state.
It's federally legal in the state, but in your county, well, okay, it's federally legal to buy and consume alcohol. But in Lynchburg, Tennessee, where Jack Daniels is made, it's a dry county. You cannot buy liquor there.
Yeah, Churchill, Tennessee is the same way. It's a dry county. And if you get caught going from one county to another, here's the thing. I don't want to go too long about this.
Yeah.
But in Tennessee,
No, this
on
is
the
good
bottom
info.
of your what's on the bottom of your license plate in the state of Tennessee, it has what county you are from. So if you happen to be in Sullivan County, which happens to be Kingsport, Tennessee, and you drive less than a mile into Churchill, Tennessee, which is Hawkins County, which is a dry area, if they catch you, you can be brought up on charges.
So you can't just can't claim, well, it's legal in the state. Federal law says it. They say, no, it's not legal in our. Wow. So a woman. Okay, so that if you because there could be women in these states that we're talking about. I never would have even thought of that. I just assumed a federal law trumps all the state laws.
Well, you gotta remember too, these 6 states that just legalized it federally are a few of them are in the Bible Belt. So and you're talking about laws in the Bible Belt. The church has a lot of influence in those laws on a local and county area. So
these laws are not going to be flying in, extremely liberal areas or the Bible Belt. I doubt it very much. They won't gain much traction.
Wait a minute. I thought a liberal area would be where this would fly. I thought it'd be more of a conservative area where it might not fly.
California is more liberal than anybody I know. However, Massachusetts is like the top when it comes to competing against California.
Wow. I was just looking. There's 68 likes on this chat. We've had 75 people in there. Come on, who's holding out? No, just kidding.
Who didn't hit that like button?
Yeah, who didn't hit that like button?
Where it seems like the females have won, some equality today. Really, when it comes down to it, they got it on a federal level, but they need to go to the state, county, and city levels and get it in those as well in those states. And that can be a lot harder to do because, obviously it's a state broken up into many counties. So
Star Rider says you'd think Florida would be one. LOL. Bike week, bike to something or another. And it's funny you say that, Star Rider, because Mel is from Florida, actually.
There's nudist colonies here, and there's nude beaches. Sorry, I had a brain fart. So I mean, but yeah, we're talking about counties and all that stuff. One county it might be legal, next county no. So
wow.
And here's the thing. Even though it might be illegal in county, on the docket, it might just be a misdemeanor. They might just be like, well, put your shirt back on and here's a warning, and let you go,
Or a
where
class
other counties might be a little bit more severe. They might say, okay, you're, weekend in the hole, whatever,
And it all depends.
An exposure,
And it depends on how it's done. Misdemeanor committed in an officer's presence is an arrestable offense. So it all depends on your attitude. Well, I can freely show my tatas. Look at me. You can't touch me. 9 chances out of 10, it's going to be a Class C misdemeanor, arrestable offense, because you were a jerk about it. Whereas if you're like, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know, end of story.
Right. Wow.
If you cooperate, yeah. So, you know.
It's, yeah, you've always got these. I don't know if it's the proper terminologies. These extremists, Well, it's my right. There's my nipple right there. There's nothing you can do. It's my constitutional right. Pretty good chance you're gonna get fined.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Was I not supposed to show that, Dave?
Oh my goodness. I think Ben just got turned on there though.
Did you see the little hairs around there, Ben?
You got to talk, Ben. It's on voice activation right now.
What does that mean?
There you go.
That means you won't show up on the YouTube feed unless you say something.
You're in the little square above, but you got to say something to get big. Well, I shouldn't even say that around. No.
What kind of channel am I on, Dave?
And Fireman TV just showed his nipple, and then you say that.
I
and,
walked
yeah.
right into that one. I walked.
Okay, now let me rebuttal this because it's only fair. It's only fair.
We've been
Dave,
so good.
It doesn't take much to make me big. Okay, that's all I'm going to say.
I was going to make a joke about small talk, but I'm just
yeah. Oh,
morning,
I'm just
Hiya
waiting.
Truth.
I am waiting for Ben to throw up on our live stream from what he ate earlier.
Dave, I'm feeling fantastic, man. With all that stuff that I ate, I'm actually amazed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he had his omega-3, and he had his
When I saw Ben doing that one, all I can think of is the cartoons where the cheeks explode, where they're going like
yeah,
this.
right. And yeah, Joy Sumter, insert foot into mouth. Yeah. But everyone out in the chat, if you're just getting here, what we're making jokes about with Cab, earlier tonight, about, 5 hours back, he did a live stream where Cab 7 ate very strange things. And I think he read me the list, everything from tuna fish to mustard and mayo and then applesauce, and it went on and on. He was like,
he was pulling stuff out of his pantry that was 4 years expired.
Oh my
and eating it.
goodness! Oh my goodness! I started watching it when he did the applesauce and the mustard, but then I had to go take a call with.
Oh, it got
someone.
worse, Dave. It got.
Oh
worse.
man!
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Oh my goodness!
yeah. I didn't think he could top it, and he found a way. So it's just like, oh god!
Wow!
Yeah, he had like mayonnaise that was a month out of date that he was eating. Like, it was. Yeah.
I took tuna fish, and I went ahead and I mixed it with ginger ale. And so I had a big glob of tuna fish, and I put it in the ginger ale.
Oh, you
twisted
drank
around.
it?
I did. I twisted
Oh,
around.
and I like tuna fish normally.
Well,
I was good when he took the first drink out of it, and I was good. But then he was like, "Oh, we better finish this."
You gotta get the chunky stuff, and I'm like, I'm about to blow chunks.
I was like, I gotta watch this over here now for a few minutes.
Oh man!
Wow! Wow! You really got me a lot thinking about this whole county thing, And firemen, no, he walked away for a sec there. It's all right. I'll ask him when he comes back. Cyborg Tech, good point. Federal property is always governed by federal law. The local police can come in, but don't have jurisdiction to arrest. They can ask you to leave. That's all they can do legally. That's interesting. Good point, actually. Empress Tay, how you doing? Good morning. Thanks for coming through the stream. Storm Lies, it was bad. Turned me off. My dinner stomach still churning. Oh, wow. So,
See, like
Ben,
the federal property around here would be like any federal building, or state game or state park service, because they're governed by what do you call them? I can't think of the name again. DNR, the Department of Natural Resources, and they are federal. They have the same jurisdiction as a federal officer. They actually have more jurisdiction than a state trooper.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So any place that would be governed by like the DNR, state game lands or anything like that, that would be like federal properties. Now, if you want to go out to a state game lands where there's a big swimming hole and go topless, hey, it'd be legal in that area.
Yep. Wow.
But if you're downtown by the city hall, walking down the street topless, there might be some city laws against that, you know?
So, this is interesting because I'm kind of soaking this in. Like you were saying, it might be a federal victory, but now it might have to be fought out at the local level.
Mm-hmm.
See that? I never thought of that. I just, when I,
Well, and that's the problem they have with like the legalization of marijuana and things like that. So, I mean, it's a lot of court cases. It's a lot of, petitions and bills and things like that to get the laws changed. But, with the right people doing the proper ways, it can be done.
I'm not 100% sure, but Andrew Frying Pan says reservations too then. I think reservations, aren't they governed by their own, right? They're sovereign from...
Yeah. The Indian reservations and that.
Right. That was a valid question, though.
Reservations are tax exempt, like churches.
Velvet Celeste says no shirt, no shoes, no service. See, I think that's still going to apply. I don't think that'll be a problem because that was my first thought. You go out to eat with your wife and, oh, my goodness.
Yeah, the thing is when, and I'm not against equality, not in any way, shape, or form.
Me neither.
But the thing is, when you do this, it opens up more cans of worms, kind of like the vaping community. Everybody's like, oh, I love vaping. You're all about smoking. Yeah, I'm smoking, but I also vape too. The thing about vaping is people didn't realize how much of an issue it was going to be with young children. I don't know how many young teenagers that I know that are 10, 11, 12, 13 years of age. They're addicted to these. I don't mean to change the subject. They're addicted to these vaporizers now. So you've got to look at the other unforeseen circumstances that could pop up with this happening, like sexual deviants, perverts. There's men that will get turned on by that. I'm not saying that any kind of, and I don't wish it upon anybody. A man would make an advance towards a woman, in a secluded place or something like that because she is topless. I'm not saying that wouldn't happen, but the chances are probably pretty good that might happen.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like you might have a higher percentage of.
I could be wrong.
Yeah. Valid point. Yes, 420 says.
I think the biggest thing with the vapes, and not to get off topic, but the vapes with the younger crowd has become a competition. How much smoke they can blow out. You know what I mean? They'll go out and spend hundreds of dollars on those big mods and put out, they look like an old steam engine going down the tracks when they blow all that smoke out. Like, I smoke cigarettes. It blows out a little bit of smoke, but these kids, they'll hit that vape and they go, and it'll be a cloud comes out. They'll fog up a room.
Yeah.
And that's the thing to anybody right now that vapes, or anybody in the chat that vapes. If you do use a vaporizer, buy your vape juice now, stockpile it, get as much of it as you possibly can quickly, because there is a federal law. There's multiple states right now, and it's catching on like wildfire. They're banning all e-vape juices, e-vape cigarettes, anything like that. They're pulling them off the shelves. So far, I believe there's 4 or 5 states that are doing it, and now they've already.
But like I use the cartridge ones, even these.
It doesn't matter.
Really? Well, there is the reason why.
They brought it to the federal level now. Now,
you know why?
Yeah. Well, because of all these people getting popcorn,
Right. Well, 800 people so far have died.
Well,
right.
I've heard, though, this is what I've heard, 2 things. I mean, you tell me, hey, Ghost, he's good on conspiracy theories. I've heard
we actually covered this, yeah.
I've heard that, number one, a lot of people, these deaths, that they've altered their vapes to smoke other things. That's the one
correct
that I heard.
Hey, Zara.
And the other one that I heard was that that it has to do. I mean, I know this is sort of underhanded and money changing hands, but they're unable to get all the tax money from the vapes because they can't classify it as a tobacco product.
Correct.
So
Well,
by
and
getting
that's
rid of the vapes, less competition for the real tobacco. I don't know. It's just what I heard.
the state of Ohio, as of October 1st, you have to be 21 to buy cigarettes or vape products. 21 years old.
Cyborg Tech, you go ahead, get some good sleep, man. Thanks
Good.
for dropping in.
Good morning,
Hi,
Zara.
Cyborg. Hello, good morning.
What do you think of the topic this morning?
I didn't realise that you were going to address it that quickly.
Well, I just decided let's just go for it. It's in the news as of about a week ago, or it's still somewhat fresh, you know?
Yeah. You have to excuse me, I've not long got out the shower because I'm out later.
That's all right. Babson, they're pulling them out, and it's proven the vaping will, over a period of time, put water around your lungs. Huh.
Cigarettes do the same thing at a lesser rate. Well, yeah, because I've seen these kids blow out clouds that it'd be like they smoked a whole cigarette in one hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, honest to God.
one thing that these the one thing that they've all that a lot of them have actually forgot about is that you can get zero nicotine. They just focusing all on the vapes that's got nicotine in them.
You know what? My son never smoked. He started vaping, and he says, I found out that he had nicotine in his vape juice. And I said, well, why did you get the juice with the nicotine in it? I said, you've never smoked. You don't need nicotine. But now you're hooked on the nicotine. He says, well, the good vape juices have nicotine in them. So you go looking for the ones without the nicotine, and that you don't have as big a selection.
It's
Oh,
true.
I don't know. Oops.
He says, so to get the juices that I want, I had to get the one with the nicotine because they didn't have the ones without the nicotine. You get a bigger selection with the ones with the nicotine. So here you go. Prime example, you know, my son never smoked cigarettes before. Now he's hooked on nicotine through the vape.
This is happening to a lot of teenagers.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So, since Zara just joined us, and,
Yes, dear.
and I love talking about vapes.
Yeah, let's go back to the topless.
the topless boob idea here.
Okay.
What you understand? What do you have because you're a woman? I mean, what's your opinion on this? Just I know you're not in the U.S. and I know you're over in Germany, but you're a woman, obviously. And what do you think about
Last
the
time
idea?
I checked.
Yeah, I never looked up your skirt, but I'll trust you on that.
What?
Sorry.
You did not just say that.
Yeah, I
Can't
did.
believe you said
I'd
that
expect
either.
something like that out of Caps.
Oh
and
my
a Green Bay
Wow.
Wacky.
I've actually got a dress on today,
Oh,
so
okay. I'll trust you. But what you're a woman. What do you think about this overall idea?
well,
And you can be honest, whatever, you know.
how can I put this without being horrible?
It's called Be Blunt.
Okay, I'm going to be very, very blunt. I
Yeah.
think it's third world feminists that want their own way,
Oh.
basically. Men can do it, we can do it.
So you're not really in favor of this trend.
If a woman is out and she's got a baby and she needs to breastfeed, okay, that I completely understand, and it's like, girl, go for it. But women walking around topless, I know that there are places that women do that anyway, and I'm not talking like some of the third world places in Africa and whatnot. But that's what I think. In all honesty, it's just third world feminism. Just want to get their own way again. Women. I'm all for women's rights. Don't get me wrong, but it's a completely different topic. I think it's things like that gives some of us women that are a little bit more reserved, you know, have got modern day thoughts, but like sort of some of the older traditions when it comes to a woman, it's given us a bad name. That's my thoughts. So I'm sorry if it really hurts anybody. That's just my own.
No, we need to hear this.
We need to hear this from, because you're a woman saying, "Hey,
Yeah,
I don't
makes
agree
sense.
with this."
Yeah. And this is the problem. You know, you had your first wave feminism, you had your second wave feminism, and now it's in the third wave. And it's given. It doesn't even matter if it's somebody like myself that's straight, or if it's somebody like Mel with her wife Rebecca. Some of these, some feminists gives the rest of us a bad name. Let's just say, I'll just put it out there. You know, just gives some of us women a bad name, and not every single woman is like that. Not every single woman is going to agree with that. Yeah. It's like, can you imagine? I heard one of the states you were saying is Utah.
Yeah.
Of all places, Utah.
Yeah, that's where the Mormons are.
Where you've got the FLDS.
Right.
It's like, really?
Well, Velvet Celeste out there says, it's too much. How does it make them equal?
It makes them equal as in you know, men are able to go onto a beach and be topless, or you know,
we can be up on a roof putting shingles on a roof, and we get hot. We can take off our shirt,
right?
Yeah,
and continue to work.
It's exactly
you know
the
I mean?
same thing. It's like with a lot of these things. I know that again. This is just my own personal views. You do have some women, not all, bear in mind, not all, some women are not as physically strong as men. Fact. That is fact.
No, my wife, she's always talked about that. She used to, she used to be in sports in high school and college and all that. She always said that. She goes, it's just a fact of life. She goes, we're just not as strong generally.
It's you know, it's men have got their strong points that women can't necessarily do, and vice versa. You know, I'm all for equality, but there has to be a limit, really, in all honesty.
Well,
I agree with Zara.
There is a limit.
During our during the little music break, I was saying, you know, there's so much more to worry about there's so much more things going on in the world. Why are people complaining about being topless when there's so much more things to worry about, you know?
I totally agree with you.
Well, you know, Zara, I asked all the gals on the panel, Aniki was up here and TC and everything, in your life, like as a woman, did it ever bother you that you were told you had to wear a shirt? And the people in the chat said, no, it never even dawned.
If I really, really, really wanted to show off my breast, I would just make my top a little bit lower when I go to the Oktoberfest.
Ah, there you go. Look at that. That's like an Oktoberfest outfit.
It is. I'm going there later.
Oh, today?
She's wearing lederhosen.
No, I'm wearing it at the end.
Could you get one of those outfits for Ben?
Dave, I'd wear that in a heartbeat.
Oh my goodness, that'd be epic.
Oh yeah.
I want to see Cab in one of those those fedora-looking hats with the feather in it, you know?
I've got one. Yeah, I've got one.
Oh, okay, cool.
Well, you know,
hang on.
I'm slowly getting closer. Granted, it's a ways away. It's about 700 and a half. But I'm slowly inching up on where I'm going to have to wear a bikini with spandex.
There you go, Mel.
Oh,
Wait, hold on one
That's
second.
cute. I like that.
That is
Oh,
actually.
cute. Oh, I love the color.
Now,
That's
Zara,
pretty.
can you do something for me?
What?
Can you say Ricolai? No, just kidding.
I thought he was going to have you yodel or something.
It's Swedish.
I know, but it just
No,
reminded me.
Switzerland.
No, it reminded me of their commercials because that outfit.
Piccolo.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
gracious. Oh, exploring ginger, kinky cab 7.
Well, regardless whether it's a feminist movement or not, if it is a feminist movement, why not put all of that energy into something that's more productive and more important that would help
Because
women?
because to feminists, that is the most important thing.
Well, and that comes back to what Lady Swan had said earlier. You know, instead of going after the right to bare your breast in public, go after better wages, equal pay.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
You know what
Put
I
your
mean?
energy towards that. Instead, you're tying up the court systems because you want to show some boobies.
Yeah, there's more important things to worry about than showing your boobs. So.
Agreed,
Can
man.
I just say goodbye to everyone?
No.
No, you can't go anywhere.
You're not leaving.
No, I've got to go to the hospital for scans and stuff. So I'll be back later.
Okay,
All right,
TC.
Lovey. Good luck.
All right. Bye,
Take care,
TC.
TC.
Have
See
an
you
awesome
later.
day. Thanks
See
for
you
your
later.
input. Thanks for your input,
Bye.
TC.
Bye.
Always welcome.
Boomer D's out in the chat. Good morning, Boomer.
It's like I can remember that it's my hometown is actually we had the I think it was the whole of Europe. We had the very first oh god, naked beach, Brighton
Oh,
Beach.
okay.
There's actually a little bit. There's actually a part of it. It's not separated off. You can walk straight along the sea coast. Brighton seafront. You can actually. Well, it's not cornered off at all. I can remember going there. You know, you don't get that many women. It was mostly men. You know, girls being girls. But even here in Munich, down in the English Garden, there is one section there, and yet you're allowed to go completely naked. But on the flip side of the coin. Bavaria itself is still quite a religious state, whereas the rest of Germany tends to be a little bit more liberal. Even though, you know, you're getting there, but I can't see sort of anything like women walking around topless going down well in Munich.
Well, let me ask you a question. You've gone down there yourself and seen the nude beach, right?
Yeah,
How
of course.
Just out of curiosity, how many gawkers, in other words, men, did you see down there compared to women?
It was gawkers, none.
Really? Okay. I'm just curious.
They were hiding it well, apparently.
The only gawkers that you actually ever saw down at that beach was teenagers, and it's at the English Garden in Munich. Everybody knows that section. They call it FKK.
So no old farts with binoculars or anything like that.
English Garden, right? You've got the section. You've got the naked section here. You've got a bit of you've got the stream or river that goes through English Garden, and then you've got the other side. And you've got kids on the other side and families, they're all sunbathing. And the other side, you know, you've got people stark bollock naked and no one batters an eyelid.
So basically it's accepted and everybody accepts it. And it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
these nude beaches, you know, you guys have talked about them. I've never been to one myself. Do they post signs like you're about to enter a nude beach or something? I mean, like a warning.
Yeah.
You get a warning.
You told me that, Ben? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, I already said that, Dave.
I've got a question for you.
You know, if I'm all for people doing what they want to do, you know.
I've got a question.
Good morning, Chris's world, by the way. Good morning, Chris.
What happens? Okay, so you take the family down to Disney World.
Yeah.
You go into the park.
Yeah.
It's a hot day. It's like 100 degrees out. You and your family are on the teacup ride. It's so hot that a couple is in the teacup ride next to you, and it's so hot. Top comes off. Okay. Now, I'm sure that Disney World has, you know, rules against nudity in the park. And all of a sudden, you know, this person is getting escorted out of the ride, gets shut down for a few minutes. They escort her out, take her out of the park, said, okay, you can't be doing that in here. Goodbye.
Well,
Do you
yeah,
think-
it's a family setting, so
Oh,
it's
now here's the thing. Do you think that this kind of opens up a category for a lot of frivolous lawsuits?
Oh, good point.
Because that person, because it's
of course
because
going
it's
to.
because it's federally protected, she could turn around and sue Walt Disney.
Yeah,
and
but
win.
but Walt Disney is a place for the family. It's a family orientated place as any amusement park.
But
So
if
it
it's a
goes-
federal
so-
law, she could get the case turned over on
It
her
doesn't-
thing and end
but-
up making bank.
But I think
It-
we talked
it-
about that, like
it-
the no shirts, no shoes, no service. that
Exactly,
that
and
a
you
private-
actually see that in a lot of places. They've got they do have signs. It's like the no smoking sign that you see in places, or no photography. Don't step on the grass.
But that doesn't mean that people don't go around and throw a suit on them that they think they can win because it's a federal law that it's legal.
It doesn't. It's a family orientated place, and if somebody can't use their noodle and think, oh, I'm going to have to wear clothes here, I'm going to have to wear a top here because it's a family orientated place. But if they get chucked out, they get chucked out. It's their own fault. It shouldn't be so.
The park itself still has to abide by, the government's rules.
Yeah, but I would think, and I would no doubt presume that certain legislations will be put in place that in family orientated places, for example, Disney World, Disneyland, Universal Studios, take your pick, Six Flags, sorry, anything like that. They're family orientated places. And there's rules and regulations that you have to adhere to when you go to these parks. And that is that's going to be absolutely no difference if they put in there no topless women.
Hey,
or no shirt off or anything.
This is totally random, but chat and panel. Chris's World, our good friend out there, Chris and Mrs. Chris's World are expecting in November. Yes. So I just
Nice.
I just want to say again, congrats to Chris's World.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
know that was random. Random, but Chris, congrats, man.
Yeah. And Glenn is perfectly right though, where he says white top or covering would keep a person cooler than being naked. And that's true. That is very, very true. If women want to go and do that, I think it's probably the women that brought this to the court over in the US are probably third wave feminists.
So you don't, we talked to TC. There's this movement's not going on like where you are in Germany. They're not trying to go topless.
Not as far as I know.
Okay, I was just wondering.
I don't watch the German news or anything, so I don't watch TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, the whole reason I did this stream tonight, I didn't know anything about this until a few hours back, where my good friend Hazel's Reptiles, got a hold of me and said, "You're not going to believe this. There's topless women walking their dogs, and my kids are seeing this." And I was like, "Really? What's this all about?" And that's when I dug into it on the internet and was like, "Wow, it is a new federal law." That's what got this whole idea for this stream going.
If you got to think of it logically, right? Just because it's sort of, I was listening. I was in the shower, but I was listening. Where you've got your county laws, you've got your state laws. Obviously, you've got your federal laws.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got your local town laws. I seriously think, just because it's a federal law doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be condoned in every single place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not going to be condoned. It's like can you imagine somebody going to, let me just say for an example, let me think. Oh God, I've got it on the tip of my tongue. Those communities,
Don't
they're
feel
still.
bad. Ben had a bunch of food on the tip of his tongue tonight. So.
I know. I heard. Oh God, what are they called? They begin with A. It's those communities. They sort of come. They're Dutch in origin. What are they called? Amish. Thank you. You imagine, like, you got a group of women walking into an Amish community. Oh, we're allowed to do this. It's federal law. Ain't gonna go down well. And they're gonna get backlash from it, and it serves them right.
Well, and here's my next question: And Cab 7, he said it himself. He says, it's their right, it's their freedom. If they want to if they want to go topless in front of a church.
If they want to do it, then go and do it. Don't shove it in everybody's eyeballs.
But
have a little bit of decorum.
How long before these exhibitionists go out to like a Muslim mosque and protest in front of one of those where the women's face have to be covered inside the church and things?
Oh wow, wow!
What kind of animosity could that create in a community?
Well, let's put it this way. I'm gonna take a bit of an example here. Right, Turkey is predominantly Islam and Christian. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the states, well, a lot of the states or whatever counties, whatever they're called over there, are reverted back to Islamic law. So no bars, no drinking alcohol. Where my mum is, it's a bit different. It's more multiculti. It's actually a harbour town. You get the big cruise ships coming in. And you still see a lot of the older generations with the headscarves that are dressed very conservatively, but then you have a lot of the younger generation, with their shorts, their crop tops, the sundresses, and their hair, no scarves. But then you also see a combination of the two over there. So I think what a lot of these women have got to I'm going to presume are feminists that have managed to bring this law in, federal law in. They're still going to have to conform to that state's laws or that town's laws. Doesn't matter if it's federal law.
See, I think I'm still, in my mind, when I heard this, I think the biggest thing, the biggest stumbling block to me was all that came to mind, and maybe this is just apparent to me, was children. That's the biggest thing that came to my mind.
No, I fully understand that, Dave.
That was the first thing when I heard this from Hazel's. I was like, it wasn't I, as an adult, okay, fine, there's a topless woman. Wow, big deal, Not something not something like I haven't seen before, But my instant brain was like, what about the children? The children. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
It's like I posted in your chat earlier. Man's only been wearing it's only been wearing any type of clothing for approximately 170,000 years, and that was due to, depending on what you actually believe, it was due to the hair loss. And we needed to keep warm. And it's like, if you want to go to the other end of the spectrum, if you believe in the Adam and Eve story, that's where we all came from. Okay, Eve had two leaves over her boobs. But what did she do before she had leaves to cover her boobs? She had her boobs free. There's so many I can understand it and why this has happened. Don't get me wrong, I can understand it. But on the other side, we don't need to flaunt everything that we've got. Maybe it's just the English in me.
Ben said he was going to flaunt everything that he's got.
Yeah, it could just be.
You did say that, Ben.
But I don't know. I think that. Again, no disrespect to any other countries or anything, but I think when it comes to I'm not going to say all, but a large percentage of the English women, we tend to have, in some things, a little bit more decorum. And it's like, well, yeah, I can understand that, but you know, not my cup of tea. And I'm very much that way. It's like, it doesn't bother me if I'm back home and I'm walking along the nudist beach. If they want to go naked, let them go naked. You know, if I'm in English Garden and I just happen to be sitting opposite the naked area, it's like, I don't care. And but it's not. It's something that, for me, it's always been there. I grew up with it, so I don't know any different. It's like where it's saying it could be 10, 20 years. It's normal.
Glenn, North Nottingham, paranormal investigator, says the English are more reserved than people in any other country.
Yeah, we are.
And I want to say good morning to Fred. Good morning, Fred.
To answer your question, Dave, I'm willing to try anything once.
Oh, jeepers. That's what he said when he was over here and he showed me the cot. And I said, no, definitely not.
Dave, I've been real good tonight, and I'm not going to even go there.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
But I think at the end of the day, you know, each to their own. As with anything, don't shove it in people's faces. There's you know, that covers every single subject possible. Every subject's controversial in its own way. It's just how people actually handle that. Just that, you know, if that's what you want to do, love it, go for it. Don't shove it in my face.
Fireman, you look a little
don't
tired.
shove it down our throats.
You look a little tired, fireman.
Yeah, well, I'm not used to you old fart. You're night owls. You stay up all night, sleep all frickin' day, and then when I get up in the morning, everybody's like, "Fireman, where you at?" And I get all these invitations.
Do you see this? Do you see this?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I get up and everybody's in bed.
I was shocked that you were up this morning, or that you're up here hanging with us this early in the morning.
I couldn't sleep, and I'm like, they better be on. Somebody better be on, or I'm going to lose it.
Someone better be on, yeah. Yeah, no, this has been a really good talk, actually. I was
actually quite surprised because it's like when you were writing me last night, I was already in bed. I was just about to nod off sleep, and it was like, oh.
I know. I said to Zara, what do you think of this subject? You know, she didn't know I was going to do it, but I told Mel, too. She's like, yeah, count me in.
I was afraid for a while, though.
That was what?
Yeah.
So I was afraid for a while, though. I was like, what is he up to?
Todd's just put in there but the English have always been more comfortable with nudity than the States have been. Nudity was always a no-no. I agree with you, Todd, but it's the English are more comfortable with it. But there's because of the way we are, a lot of our values are very much ingrained in our DNA. Whether that's a good thing or not is another question.
Well, and there's places in this world that it is socially acceptable for women to go topless. Look, Italy.
Italy do it. Brazil do
Italy.
it.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Italy. It is socially acceptable. They're topless. Like all the beaches in Italy are topless.
All the beaches in Italy are topless?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
But that doesn't mean you see them walking down Main Street past the courthouse with nothing on.
Yeah,
but
it's just because that you've now been given, let's just say, the right to do that. It doesn't mean that you have to go and shove it in other people's faces. Yes, the English are comfortable with nudity, but on the flip side, they call us prunes. But that's because that we're showing a little bit. I hate using this word, but we just show a little bit more decorum with it.
Well, what do you mean, Boomer?
If you want to do that, you go to your nudist camps, or it's like, just don't shove it in our faces.
Right, exactly. It's kind of like in the United States, we have gun laws. We're allowed to open carry. We can have our firearms on our side, but that doesn't mean you walk into Walmart and go, "Oh, look at this." I mean,
Well, that would be considered brandishing, and you can be arrested for it.
I know, but you're flaunting it like, look, I got a right to carry. You know, I mean, you can.
You've got to have a little bit of what's the other words I'm looking at?
Common sense.
Well,
Etiquette.
that ways. A little bit of
Morals.
I can't think.
But there's always somebody out there to ruin it for everybody else. That's why,
Yeah, of course.
we have laws and restrictions on the simplest of things. And that's why they're going to do the same thing when it comes to bearing your breasts in public. You can do it, but you just got to be careful when, you can, oh, hold on, I got an itch. No, that wasn't sexual. Compared to, hey, look at these things. You know what I mean? There's a difference.
I don't care if I've got an itch. I'm going to scratch it anyway.
Wow. Just remember that little itch might be telling you something.
But a lot of men don't realize how hard it is for women to actually, because you got that wire that's there, and to get in there, especially if it's under that wire, is impossible.
You can say exactly the same thing when a man's got an itch and he puts his hands in his pocket and scratches his balls. You can say, oh, well, that's the man touching himself up. He's not allowed to do that in public. Same thing.
Well, right.
I'm going to, just for the record, for this chat, I've never adjusted myself publicly. I'm just,
no, but you know what I mean?
I see guys do that all the time, and I'm like, wow, really?
Dave, you've got to be the only person I've known in my 55 years that's never seen gay porno, that has never adjusted his situation.
No.
You are so freaking prude, man. I can't believe this.
It's a personal decision. I can't grab my situation publicly. I could do it if no one's looking, I could do an adjustment.
Fire hydrant or something, or act like you're grabbing for some extra change or something, and grab your keys while they're in your pocket. You can be stealthy about it.
It's like you're not.
Is it English where they have the urinals on the sidewalks? Is that like UK, or where is that?
Where's what? Say that again.
They have the urinals like along the sidewalks. Isn't that UK or is that Germany or?
No.
Maybe
France.
You know what I'm talking about? Where they have you can stop along your walk. I thought that was UK.
Yeah, no,
that's in the Middle East. That's in the Middle East.
In the Middle East.
Oh, is it Middle East?
Yeah, they have a 5-gallon bucket there, and if you're lucky, there might be a bar of soap. No, I'm serious. They dig a hole in the ground, and that's what they do.
No, I saw something where they have actual urinals that are like.
Yeah, I don't know what country that was.
You've seen that, right, Fireman?
Yeah, and I've also seen the guy there doing this number, constantly doing this, and I'm like, you freaking perv.
Oh my goodness.
That was probably me.
It's like, is a woman just adjusting herself? If she's just getting her fingers down the side and just lifting up, is that classed as touching herself?
No, it isn't.
Adjusting herself.
No, because men do.
If it's doing this, or if it's doing this, or if it's lifting up like
it's
that.
Non-sexual because men do the same thing, not to sound disgusting or anything like that. But sometimes you got to move the family jewels or reposition them depending on the situation. See, I said that clean, Dave.
Yes, you have.
Now, isn't the UK the one that, don't they have unisex bathrooms there? Like they have co-ed bathrooms in public places in the UK.
I don't know. I haven't lived there since 2001, so I wouldn't know, Ghost.
Well, where I live, they have unisex bathrooms, but not they're individual bathrooms. So guy or girl can go in, but you lock it and it's only one person in there. I'm not familiar with where I live anyway, where either or can go in as a.
Well, I can remember one of the nightclubs that I used to go to in the 90s, down on Brighton seafront. Now, for those of you that may not know, Brighton is actually quite liberal. It's gay capital of England.
Okay, Gemma says yes, we do. Gemma says they do have. Co-ed public restrooms.
They have what? Cool. They have what, Ghost?
Co-ed public restrooms.
Doesn't matter what sex you are, you can just go in them.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's normally the ones that I'm thinking of is the ones that you put like 20p and or 50p in, and you go in and use it. Where was I going? Oh yeah. So I've lost my train of thought now.
Oh, don't worry. You're just joining the Cab 7 Club, so it's okay.
No, there's a bit.
Sorry, look at the look on his
No,
face.
the problem is it's actually today it's actually a bipolar thing. My mind's going faster than I can keep up, so completely lost all train of thought. But with my hometown, it is liberal. You know, you've got I've been, it's to me, to see two gay men walking along the road hand in hand, or two women that are together walking along hand in hand, or your drag queens, or your transgenders. Doesn't matter what it is. I've grown up with it. I don't batter an eyelid. It's second nature to me. But one thing, even around like the nudist beach, it's just not flaunt. It's just not chucked in your face. You get people down at the beach as well. You know, they'll go up to the ice cream shop and go and get an ice cream, and it's the woman and she's topless. She's got it all hanging out. Nobody batters an eyelid. But it would be a different story if that same woman that was walking up to the ice cream shop with her boobs hanging out. Be a different story if she went into town.
I was thinking about what Ghost was saying, like, would the divorce rate go up because of this?
Honestly,
that was an interesting point you made.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously,
How
you
many
got husbands that would their husbands allow their wives to go out topless in public?
No.
You know?
I thought you meant it.
Can you actually imagine something like that happening in?
Well,
say,
not only that, I mean, when you're out with your wife and she's not topless, and a topless woman walks past you, and you're like,
"Oh man,
hey, I'm married. I ain't dead." You know?
Yeah. When you walk into the flagpole.
Oh my goodness.
I'll give you guys a classic example. How some things are actually.
Let's all do that head move. Let's do what Ghost did there. The topless girl walks by. It'd be like,
right?
See, I don't have to worry about that because my wife and I check out women together. So,
wow, it's like an open
relationship. Down the street, we're like,
Yeah, so it's a win-win, Mel.
I'll give you a classic example of Oktoberfest this year, and it's actually in some ways it's actually quite relevant. Normally, the girls have got their boobs up to about here, right under the neck. You know, 2 bras on, everything's pushed right up. These tops are as low as possible, but this year it's actually the reverse. You've actually got women wearing sort of high neck tops, and all of this is all covered up. It's like, even for me, this is actually quite modest for me. Because where you can adjust it, you can have it pulling down and the boobs up more, and so even though they're saying now in six states, you know, it's federal law, you can go topless. In other parts of the world, it's actually with some things the opposite is happening. It's actually covering up a little bit more.
Okay, just to reiterate, a lot of people are not understanding this law, or they're coming in late to the chat.
Yeah.
This is going to be in public. You will not be able to do this in any buildings whatsoever, just outside. Just to clear that up a little bit.
Yeah, the no shoes, no shirt, no service kind of idea is still going to apply to like businesses.
Well, isn't it exactly the same if you're on a motorbike? If you're going into a shop or somewhere, you got to take the helmet off. I think it's going to be very double-edged, if I'm being honest.
I was just reading what JCT said. I thought they were against breastfeeding in public, now topless. Yeah, JCT, if you missed what we were talking about, like Fireman said, some people came in late. There's a federal law passed 6 states. Women can go out in public completely topless. So it's kind of a new chapter in society, I think. I don't know if it's the ultimate freedom or... But, you know, here's the thing. Do you think this would lead to full nudity out in public? Zara's like, no. What do you think, fireman?
I doubt it. I doubt it very much.
I wouldn't have thought there'd be a day where the top half.
But
I don't
times
know.
are changing. Look how many over the years, how much has changed over the years. So I'm not going to say that that's not a possibility.
Well, these two women fought for this. What if, the nudists, they start saying, hey,
From
why can't we go-
1900 to 2000. In 1900, women's bathing suits were fully clothed,
right,
from ankle to neck.
Yep.
In 2000, by 2020, they'll be able to go out to the beach in nothing but a thong and topless. It doesn't leave much to the imagination.
It's so funny you said that, because I had this very conversation with my wife earlier, and that's what we were talking about. Said, so you'll go out and you'll be topless with a thong on. It's pretty much nude,
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's going from a full body bathing suit to a piece of dental floss. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where does it go from there?
Lori Johnson, good morning, by the way. Legal or not, it's thrashing if they turn around and do this. I agree with that statement. Fireberry the Fam, good morning, by the way. Kathleen Burnett, good morning, by the way. I know I've been typing as much as I can to the chat a little bit, but it's been kind of an interesting subject today. Wow. Wait a minute. Anime Adventures. Only way the pterodactyl dance goes viral. Oh my goodness.
Topless. There you go.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, if you want to be nude, where are you going to put your phone when you walk down the street? Not to be giving anybody any visuals, but really think about it.
Wait, say that again?
If you're totally nude and they would actually push for this law, where would you put your cell phone? Think about it.
Well, by the time that law goes through, we'll have those chips in our hand where we can just talk into our pinky and thumb, That's our phone then,
Well, Lindsay Diane, I think that ties into what I was saying before. I said, would this be the next step to another barrier that gets to another one to another one? That's why I think your comment, I don't really want to read the comment, but yeah, because where do you draw the line on what's right and what's wrong? Where do you stop? Okay.
Exactly. Read the comment by Lori Johnson that hasn't been approved yet. That's a valid point.
Let's read it. Let's see. And how are the police supposed to take it if a woman turns around, she's walking around naked, and yet she screamed, yeah, I hate that word.
I know.
I'll just say violation. In my opinion, she asked for. Oh, wow. Well,
that's no. She's giving opinions just like everybody on the panel. So
I know. I
respect that, but that leaves room for error, because if they are nude, all they've got to do, and I'm not saying it's going to happen or anybody's going to be dishonest. Something's going to be misinterpreted. Let's say you're in a big crowd and she turns sideways and bumps into someone. All of a sudden, she can try. I think that's the point she's trying to convey here.
And that can also come back to those frivolous lawsuits, frivolous claims.
Yes.
I mean,
that was
Kobe Bryant's going to be in big trouble. That's all I can think.
Goodness. Yeah. Well, firemen, that was my point I was talking about earlier, that my friend had brought up. You're a law enforcement person, and the woman's topless, and she's, you got to arrest her, and you got to handcuff her. And I know like we had talked about, where they bring a female officer down to search him, but when you're in the actual act of, hey, I got to restrain this person, she's breaking the law.
That's easy to do. I've ran into that.
Man and female team.
But
always.
Then that, girl says, "Hey, he fondled my breast," you
You
know.
don't always have that option, okay? When it comes down to either a domestic dispute or something like that, the thing is you separate them, and you don't have the luxury of having a male-female officer all the time, because not to sound sexist or anything like that, there's far more male officers than female officers. In the department I worked on for 5 years, it was mostly male. We came across several female, not mean completely, totally 100% naked, nothing on. In that situation, you separate the male from the female, or hopefully it's a male and a female, or you take the naked one and you put them inside the patrol car and wait for a female officer to arrive. And that's the best course of action for that. And keep them.
But what about, okay, I know we covered it before. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but just to get a visual here. Yeah, sometimes, when you're a police officer, you have to physically grab someone to get them to.
Yes, you do.
Right, like to get handcuffs on them, for example.
Correct.
Because they're resisting. So what would you, a male officer, do when this female's resisting you and you have to, and she has, what would that do? You wouldn't grab her because
you just resist it. You just but get them down on the floor, and then is it in England? England very, especially at the cricket games, you get your streakers.
Right.
They run across the court. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But would you be less likely to grab that woman to restrain her because, she doesn't have
it doesn't matter whether you're male or female. Whichever policeman is around, that policeman is going to arrest you. Doesn't matter whether it's male or female.
Correct.
No, but what about your arm? But your arms might have to grab her. Would you be less likely to do that because you're looking at bare breasts?
No.
Would you just grab her?
You get back in England. You get your male streakers. You get your female streakers.
See, I don't think that would. I think arrest is arrest. If they need to arrest them, they should arrest them. But I think there's going to be a lot more females getting out of speeding tickets.
Jeepers! Wow.
The problem is, this is what it all boils down to, and I'm sorry if I might hurt some feelings here. This is just my own opinion. The world today is too goddamn PC.
Thank you.
It's too goddamn PC.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the stuff that used to be out when I was a kid in the 70s. They classic English comedy, the Carry On films. You would not get away with half of the stuff that's in those films nowadays. You just wouldn't get away with it. It's just goddamn too PC. And because, unfortunately, these kids that are coming into the world, everybody, we've all been drilled and conditioned at such a young age that we have to conform to this, conform to that, conform to the other. We have to think in a certain way, and we've got no free will. We can't think freely. And that is the major problem today.
Well, the thing I get worried about sometimes is that if I have an opinion on that, then I feel like people say I'm intolerant or something. Like if I say, I kind of feel like women maybe should have shirts on. I don't know. It's just me. And then they get mad at me. Who are you to say we have to have shirts on? And I'm just, I kind of feel like you should have shirts on, but that's just me. I'm old school. I'm sorry. I guess I'm old,
It's nothing. There's nothing wrong in it's like if you go an English tourist or a female tourist going to Egypt, you just be aware of their traditions and just dressed a little bit more modest. If you're going into the Bible Belt, there's some of the things in the Bible Belt that they don't like people to do. You just got to be a little bit more considerate. And that's why people are not necessarily considerate nowadays. Let's face it.
Man, I'm just trying to visualize.
If it was going to open things up like it is, say, in Italy, okay, now Italian women flash all the time. It's just like saying hello for them. they'll flash, in a
I-
heartbeat.
What are you talking about? Wait a minute. What are you talking
it
about?
goes.
I'm telling you, they're a lot more freer. They're
No,
a lot
what's
more,
this
and they
flash
have
thing?
the topless beaches and things like
Wait,
that.
can I
It's
say hello to
perfectly
everyone on the
normal over
panel?
there.
I'll
In
say
the
hello.
in the places that I've been in Italy, and I've been to places. I've been to Verona, I've been to Venice, I've been to the one beginning with not Milano. Yeah, no, Milano. And you don't see that. I think that's probably on the typical coastal towns, the touristy town.
Right. The touristy areas and
Yeah, but I've never seen that in Venice.
Todd has a good point out there. He says Americans are not mature enough to handle public nudity. That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to agree with that. I think it's all in the way that these generations have been brought up over the years and how they've been raised.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop off the panel. My back is barking at me. So, but I'll be in the chat. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for coming up here, Mel. I really appreciate it.
Lovely to see you, Mel. Love to Rebecca.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right,
Say hi to
love you
Rebecca
all.
and say hi to Shasta.
Okay, she's sleeping somewhere. I think
Okay.
she's sleeping on the sofa. So,
And then when you see
all right.
Shasta, just do this for me. Barrr. Oh my God! What is this?
Dave, listen. We've been taking in some courses here about the last 3 months. I'm studying to be a boobologist. So I know a lot about this. If you'd like
See
to
you,
talk
Mel.
about this, we can do it after the live stream if you don't mind.
Oh my goodness!
No, are you specializing in breast augmentation or?
Oh my goodness!
We do it all, Dave. We are not embarrassed or shy. We're very open-minded here at our clinic.
And what are your rates for these services, Ben?
It depends on what kind of service you want there, Dave.
Oh my!
Now, let's say if Green Bay wanted to come in for a breast exam,
Yeah,
what would that run him?
that depends on the size of his breast. We go by square pound.
Square pounds. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh my goodness!
We do have a sale going on right now, Dave. Hold on just a minute.
He's got a sale going on.
Uh-huh.
I can't understand why anyone would turn this down, Dave.
Beth Plan says
$20 is $20.
$20.
Listen, Dave, if you come into our clinic and you're very disappointed in one breast being smaller than the other, we can inflate one or we can deflate the other. This right here,
Oh my!
okay, we can go ahead and take care of any adjustments that you want. These come with several different tips to insert anywhere that you want in the breastulence.
Yeah,
So-
but Ben, I'm
I
terribly
think it just
sorry
went
to,
through the internet. I think that pump just went through the internet there, Ben.
Dave, I would
didn't
not
know
even
it
go out in
traveled
public.
through internet lines.
Dave, I would not go out in public looking like that, Dave. Okay, just saying.
Are you sure you didn't get one of those Reebok pump bras?
Yeah, there you go. Margie Yeomans. Good morning.
Morning, Margie, or should I say afternoon for me?
Yeah.
Ben, I hate to disappoint you, love, but you can actually get inserts for your bras nowadays, and you just actually pump it up.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
That
I was hoping that you weren't going to share that, Zara. We just lost about half our business by you saying that. Thanks, Zara.
Well, DIY is
Son of
the
a
way to
bitch.
go. Do it yourself. Oh my goodness gracious!
Don't I look legitimate?
You do look
Yeah.
legitimate.
You actually.
White coat, stethoscope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Wow. So here's where I'm at with this. I'm gonna be done in like 10 minutes on this stream at 6 o'clock. It's gonna be 6 o'clock.
It's gonna be 7 here. Oh
It's
my
gonna be
god.
7.
That's
I know.
all right.
And
That gives me enough time to finish getting ready and get along to my sisters.
this is my second live stream in the past 7-8 hours, and it's been a good one. This was really good, I thought. And
It's probably gone down. I was actually, when you mentioned it to me, my last night,
yeah.
I was actually a bit worried. Where I said to you, it's going to be controversial. And I think, going by the chat, what I've seen. I know you were going a while before I popped into chat, but I think sometimes it is good to have these hard-hitting day-to-day topics.
Yeah.
And actually discuss them like human beings instead of like you see on other places. It's like, and then the other person is, and the other, because you could just get nothing resolved at the end of the day.
I think everyone in the chat, everyone on the panel, I think it was a very calm, peaceful discussion, and actually, I got to admit, I think the reason we had even better turnout for this, I know he's gone to bed, but Lou Rock, I was in his live stream. I know he's going to do it. He said, "Everyone go over to Green Bay's. He's got some topic you're going to want to watch." He had 100 people in there. So Brother Lou, if you're listening, I think that helped get more people over here. That was nice of you, Lou. That was nice of you. I know he's not going to hear that, but.
Yeah, no, 420 is right. Controversial is fine. We can talk instead of yelling at each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I
think we're all old enough. I think we're all old enough. With some of the adults that I see on social media, they act like as if they're in kindergarten, and the kids actually act more older than the adults.
Yeah.
I think in from my own personal opinion on the issue itself, I feel it's important that they have the right to do it, but I think they should have some modesty about it. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it anywhere you want to or any. I think there should be some modesty to it. Have some couth.
And I'm gonna say it again. My light bulb that went off in my head is the children. That's just me, because they're not mature enough quite to. There's a lot of parents. I just think about the moms at the park and the dads at the park.
That's actually got a flip side to it, Dave.
I don't know.
There is actually a flip side, because you've got a lot of families across the world, and I'm not just talking USA. You've got them in England. You've got them everywhere. And the parents are very much about being free with your body. Even like the old style hippie communes and stuff like that. People do walk around naked. The kids walk around naked. Everyone walks around naked. So there are kids that are being brought up that just walking around naked, just being comfortable in your own body is actually a normal thing. So it's like with any topic, it's gonna be a double-edged sword.
I walk naked every day underneath these clothes. No one says nothing about that.
No, I can. When nobody's home, I can walk around my house naked. But that that doesn't mean that I want to go to the family reunion that way.
Yeah.
And a family union that would be unforgettable.
Right?
I'm going to type something in the chat here, guys. And I really appreciate everyone being here. Nerd of the North is live. That's his link. And I just went into his stream and typed into his stream, "I'm going to send you a raid right now, nerd."
Rich Life for Road Trips, good to see you. Don Broyles, good to see you.
So I'm encouraging everyone to click on that link and go over to Nerd of the North and tell him it's a wacky raid for my brother, our friend in this community, Nerd of the North. Awesome, awesome dude.
He is. He's fantastic.
Yeah. And I want to see his numbers jump up. He had about 8 people in there.
You got 18 now.
Yeah, 13. It's going up. Send him the raid. Send him the love. We got 60 people in this chat. You know what's amazing, though? I got to admit, we only got 79 likes on this stream. I think if people were so in the love in the chat, I think they forgot to smash that like button. Come on, we should have got 100 on this, but that's all right.
Don't matter.
I know.
They can all do it.
It's not about the numbers, Dave. It's not about the numbers.
I know. I'm just a 21 at Nerd. It is about the numbers for Nerd, though. I want to see his number go up through the roof. He's a great guy. Yep, he's up to 21 now. That's awesome. Thank you, people, for going there.
24.
Yes, keep it going for Nerd. Keep it going. Get out of my chat. Get over to his chat. And I want to start by thanking the panel. Let's go with who left. Aniki, Jack Colorado Explorers, was with us. TCTV was with us. Mel Godoy was with us. Let's see. Am I forgetting anyone that left? Was it just those three that actually left?
Lou Rock.
Oh, Lou Rock. Yep. Well, of course. I was just saying, yep. That's 4 that left. Was there anyone else?
You got TC, right?
Got TC, and we got Lou Rock now, and we got, yeah. And I think that leaves who's up here. Ghost Mafia, who was sort of, had Lady Swan, kind of a half there.
Yeah, Lady Swan was here.
And Fireman CV, and Zara, Paranormal White Noise, who is going to Oktoberfest, the real one, not the fake one.
No, the real one.
We had a Dr. Cab 7 up here that does breast augmentation, apparently.
29, 30. He just
30. Guys, thank you.
Yay.
Thank you for doing this for Nerd of the North. He's an awesome guy. And he's rated me several times. And we love him. He's a very, very funny guy. And he takes his YouTube seriously. He really tries to deliver entertainment for people. Thank you for going there. Thank you. Yes. Get out of my chat and go to Nerd of the North. He's up to, well, he's still got 26. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And I just want to slowly...
And make sure when you go into Nerd of the North, you go in topless.
There you go.
In fact, start putting topless Ray in Nerd of the North.
Wow. That would be hilarious.
But Ben, you want to have a look at what Auntie H has written to you?
I just read that. That's, you know, I'd be all in tears to see something like that. That's why that flag is up there.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool. They're coming home.
You want to know something, Ben? I got to tell you something. I haven't said this. We've been friends a long time.
Yeah.
You know, you've always thanked me for doing the veteran shout out.
Sure
I
have.
don't think we've actually thanked you for always in your set having the American flag and the POW flag. I'm just saying, I just thought of that just now.
That POW MIA flag is always going to be there probably the rest of my life because as long as that flag is up there, I'm still waiting for them all to come home.
Yeah.
And I also have the American flag over here. You can't see it for the green screen right now. It's hanging in here, and I've got the POW flag hanging in the window.
That's cool,
for
man.
the whole world to see.
That's right.
Wow. I'm going to drop this link one more time and then say goodnight to everyone. This is Nerd of the North, Wacky Raid. Nerd of the North, Wacky Raid. And go over there, give him you'll like this guy. He's really good. He's really good. And is there anything any of you up here would want to say to whoever's left before I say goodnight to them?
Of course.
Stay truthful, stay honest, make sure every day counts. And if you have a bad day today, tomorrow's always a new day. I just reeled that off too. I've said that. I think I've said that the last 3 days in a row.
I liked it.
I just wanted to say, make sure you get your gonorrhea shots. We want to keep the world population down. And also be sure to check your private areas for things that don't supposed to be there. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah, I just want to say make sure that Cab 7 is spayed or neutered. But anyway, okay.
One of a kind, Dave. One of a kind.
What about firemen?
I don't have much to say at all. I'm honored to be up on your panel, even though I had to pay you to be up on the panel. And I'm glad to see this wonderful turnout in the chat.
I'll check
Oh,
my
you
PayPal.
have to pay. I don't. I get paid.
Wow.
What about you, Ghost? Anything that you'd like to say?
Well, I was gonna flash like as you were ending it, so I was gonna be like, "Free the tatas." now you didn't. Blew
I
it.
think I'm gonna take another page from Megan's blog again. I really like this expression that she says, "Find the beauty in the world." I really like that. Find the beauty in the world.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm just gonna say a couple goodbyes. Andrew Frying Pan, Mrs. Twin Flame, the round tables, Todd, always a pleasure, of course. Auntie H, Don Broyles, Lindsay Dean. Thanks for coming, by the way. Just going up here through the list. Glenn, of course, North Nottingham. Paranormal Investigators, Beth Plant. Lindsay Diane, thanks for being here. Susan Cox says Lou Rock sent me right at the end. Thank you for being here. Sorry we're like checking out right now. Rich Life Road Trips says I'm still here. Sorry we were so engulfed in the conversation. Animated Adventures, Kill Hut 702, just to name a few. I know Margie Yeomans stepped in there at the end.
She did.
Just kind of going up here. Miss Jackie. Okay.
Todd wants me to close
He's up
with
to 35 now.
Oh, thank you guys for going over to Nerd of the North. Thank you. He'll really appreciate it.
Oh, that's cheered him up.
and guys and girls, I'm going to give this one free of charge just because Todd asked so nicely, and I'm going to do it a quick one.
Oh!
Nice. Very nice.
You got the doctor there. Well, I'm not going to go there. All right.
Absolutely
And there's Margie.
stunning.
Much loved all. Auntie H, great topic. Everyone, we'll see you on the next stream. I'm sure we'll have several of them today. Have a wonderful night. Well, morning. Love to you.
And remember, 2 out of 3 doctors think Green Bay Wacky is funny. Seven's that third doctor.
Well, remember, I'm not really a comedian. I just play one on YouTube, but I did stay at a holiday.
Cab 7's the third doctor.
I'm out of here.
All right. See you guys.